I had negative $250 in my bank account. He was like, bro, your work is the best I've ever seen in my life. We need you working with Andrew full time. And I woke up with like 8 grand in my bank account.
What did you learn from being around Andrew Tate?
If you replicate the habits and rituals of successful people, don't you think you'll be successful too?
Why do you think he trusted you?
I have this like safety net and I'm just leaving it. I remember in my journal writing like one day I'm gonna be traveling the world, one day I'm gonna be filming with the most famous people, and everything that I wrote in that journal, if I look back at it now, came true.
Take us back before, you know, the brand deals, before the people you worked with, before the audience size that you have. Who were you and what was life like?
So my story begins back when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And it started off with like Call of Duty. You know, I'm sure you guys have played Modern Warfare 2. Yeah. So I got my first ever Call of Duty and I wanted to showcase my sniper skills and my montage to the world. So that led me into learning how to edit videos. So back then YouTube was just starting. It was a couple of years out and there were like no tutorials. So back then it was just like you get the program, you start trying stuff out, and then you learn through trial and error. So over time, I realized that I was building a skill that became the most valuable skill in the 21st century. You know, like now every company needs videos, and nowadays I'm using the same program that I did almost 15 years ago, a little bit more than 15 years ago. So now I've been able to spend over 10,000 hours easily perfecting my craft over and over and over again. So through the years, I've made thousands of videos, thousands of content, photos, videos, logos, everything. And it just kind of all led to the point when I left my job in the future, which I'll get to. And now I use that skill on a day-to-day basis, building other brands and building viral videos and pretty much just using that skill to the best of its ability.
You said the 10,000 hours. That's what it takes to master it, right?
Yeah, I think honestly, like it's just like 10,000 hours is, people say it, 10,000 hours is what it is, but I think it's way more, you know, over time, all the summers, all the overnights, you know, like spending time perfecting my craft. People were just playing video games, but I was actually perfecting a craft. You know, I was learning the intricates of of the program. And I first remember when I opened the program, I was like, holy crap, this is like I don't even know how I can master it. But now the program is super easy. I know everything in and out. So it's the same program that I use today, but obviously now there's a lot more effects, a lot more plugins, and a lot more styles. But all of that knowledge kind of led to what I'm doing now full-time as a job.
Yep. And it's crazy how many creators, content creators, videographers, they started off with gaming.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
There's so many I sit down with that I started off in gaming and showing reactions of gaming, or, you know, videos on YouTube of my gaming. So you were 12 years old at that point.
Yeah,
right?
When I started.
Which is crazy, right? At what point do you realize like this could be something that you pursue? Is that something at that moment that you're thinking, you know, I could do this for the rest of my life? Or was there other goals you had, other dreams you had at that point where you're like, oh no, this is just fun, I'm going to pursue, you know, this corporate job or whatever it might have been at that point?
So when I was 12 years old, obviously I started learning editing, but then eventually I got into creating videos on YouTube and making tutorials. So I was one of the first ever channels making tutorials on YouTube. And like my page was called Editor School back at the time.
Sick.
And I remember like I was getting a bunch of views and I was going viral because no one made it at the time, right? I was one of the first that were doing that. And I would join like a Call of Duty lobby and like my name was Editor School. So they were like, yo, Editor School, bro, I watch your videos.
Sick.
So it was like, it kind of like, it blew up because I was like a young kid, right? Like at the time, my voice wasn't deeper. I had a high pitched voice, but I was still making videos. I didn't care. I was recording my screen, teaching people how to do like basic effects. Okay. So that was when it kind of like hit me that like maybe this could be something in the future, you know, if I keep at it. And over time, over the next few years, I got over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
And I was making money per month. And my dad was like, yo, how you making money? Like, where's this money coming from? You know? So back then there was no like YouTube ad revenue. You had to do it through a partnership with another company. So I had full screen at the time. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like an old company, and then they would pay me through the full screen ads. They would put it on the page and stuff, so I would make like a couple $100 a month. So through that, I saved up, got a better mic, got a better recording screen device. So I just started upgrading my stuff, investing in my business. Yeah. And that's when I realized that like, yo, this could be a full-time job, you know, in the future. So.
And how did you know to like, because you were so young, how did you know business etiquette at that point? Because you're reinvesting in your equipment. Was there any like videos you were watching? Was it one of your parents that were helping you? Like, how did you learn this stuff as well, besides the editing, but more on the business side, where it's like, I can create something here?
Honestly, I think it just comes natural, man. Like there was no tutorials at the time. There was no people teaching you this stuff. Like nowadays it's cool to be a YouTuber. Like nowadays everyone's like, yo, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up, and it's like a cool thing. Back then it was like the biggest fear if someone found your YouTube videos and they played it in front of your class. So like I wouldn't tell anyone, like at this point, like, you know, I wouldn't tell my friends, and if someone found out, I would be like, yo, don't play in front of the school, because
really?
it's like it's embarrassing. Like, but like it was getting a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers, a lot of success. People were like, yo, editor school at school, they were calling me like my good friends, and I'm like, yo, chill, like don't let people know. Like I'd prefer to keep it on the down low, but now it's like a big thing, you know. It's like, oh, I'm famous on YouTube, I have followers and stuff. So it never really came from someone else. Like my dad and my mom always supported me, but they never really like told me to go full in, you know, because they're more old school, right? Like our parents' generation, they're taught to like go down the safety route and get the job and have the security and all that kind of stuff. And I can go more in depth about my dad's story later on, but yeah, I think it was just naturally from me. It just kind of, I've always had that goal of mine, is to do something different and to be someone in this life, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always...
Did you find yourself like at school focusing more on the YouTube now? Like you're in class and you're like, shit, like I really want to go home and just do my YouTube.
Yeah, bro.
Was it a distraction for you?
Every day, bro. Yeah. I didn't care about school. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to get home, finish the next tutorial, finish the next video edit, the montage. And back then there was like the clans, you know, like Dare and FaZe and all these clans. So like I started working my way up in clans as editors, and I would do like montages for certain like famous guys, and then they would post it on their page, and then it would get more views, and then so it just kind of like spiraled up, you know, the same way you go from influencer to influencer and you work your way up in the business world. I was working my way up in the video editing world. So
you started by the tutorials, but then you actually had clients after, these influencers.
Yeah.
So they were paying you to edit a certain montage or compilation.
Exactly. Yeah, they would pay like a couple $100 and stuff back then and stuff, but it wasn't nothing that you could live off, right? But this was more like before I fully dove into business videos and marketing videos, which comes a lot later in my story, when I'm like maybe 6 years ago, I actually quit my job, and then that's when I went full time, you know. Before then it was just a passion for me. Like it was just a side thing, you know. It was never really a full-time job.
Big shout out to our family at Mintink, Canada's top spot for sports cards, trading cards, collectibles, and live hobby experiences. If you're just getting started or you're already deep in the game, they've got it all. Retail packs, high-end boxes, grading, supplies, and they even do daily live shows. Me and Anth actually have started building our own collection. We're stacking Ronaldo cards, grabbing some Funkos, and ripping whatever we got the itch for. You can shop online or roll to their store in Vaughan to rip, trade, and hit up their bi-weekly trade nights. Hit the link in our description below. Use the code MBH5 at checkout for a little bonus from the boys. Big love for Mintink for backing the pod and keeping the hobby scene alive in Toronto.
I'm looking at your story so far. I'm like, why would he not continue going? Because you said you ended up getting a full-time job.
Yeah.
Right? So talk about the moment where, I guess, you went to high school, finished high school.
Yeah.
Right? Did you go to university?
I did, yeah. I did go to university, but it wasn't like something that I wanted to do. It was more like influenced by my parents, you know, like they're like, you got to go to university, you got to study something, you got to get a degree. And that's like what they were taught. So it was kind of pushed on me, but I never really wanted to go. I went for something called kinesiology at York University, and like I was there reading, like I was just like, I would wake up super early in the morning to get on my bus 2 or 3 hours away to York, then fall asleep in the first class, and I'd be like, why am I here, bro? It's a waste of time.
I used to do the same thing in class. I would go and sleep in the class.
I hated my life.
Stayed home and slept.
I hated my life, dude. Like, you know, I really did not like school. It was not a thing for me, and I was reading about like random stuff. Like I had nothing to do with kinesiology, dude. I'm reading about slaves, and I got to write an essay about slaves. I'm like, what does it have to do with kinesiology? But like, I get you have to get the different courses and stuff.
For sure, but at the same time, like I don't even agree with that. Like, you know, there's people, and I've had this conversation so many times where it's like, you know, I'm in school for, you know, to be a mathematician or an engineer. And now I'm playing the drums in one of my classes. Right? Like it's like that's where I think education messes up. That's where I think a lot of people end up leaving or not enjoying it. Okay, but in university, do you still have the YouTube page?
So what happened was it got a little bit. So when you do something for a long time, it kind of becomes like a chore, and like you lose the passion, right, a bit. Yeah. So I kind of had a phase where I kind of moved away from editing tutorials. I was like, I don't want to really make editing tutorials, and I kind of stopped posting, but I still made edits. I still like enjoy to make videos with my friends, and I still made like videos at home. So I kind of lost the passion to make tutorials, you know, because it's kind of like boring. You're speaking, screen recording and stuff.
Was there a reason though? Like besides boring, were they still doing views? Were you still making money on YouTube?
Yeah, they were still doing views and stuff, but it's just I don't know. I feel like I'm more of like a creative person, and doing tutorials and stuff is cool and all, but it felt like I was being restricted and I had to do these tutorials to keep my channel active. So I kind of like moved away from it. That's when I got into like my bodybuilding phase. And then through the bodybuilding phase, I fell in love with working out. And then I went to, my dad was like, you got to go to university, right? Pick something. And I was like, kinesiology, you know, I can be a trainer and I can
you match
learn
with the
about
bodybuilding.
the body. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. But then, slowly after I went to university, I just realized this is not for me. Like, I don't really want to do this. And then that led me into the next phase of my life, which is the shuffling and stuff, which we'll get into. But I was doing the shuffling thing, and I was also working on videos for the shuffle page, because as you know, nowadays everything needs content. You need to post consistently. You need to, like, if people don't know who you are and they don't see your work, they don't care about you. You don't exist to them, right? So we would make like shuffle videos and stuff, which made me fall in love with editing again. So then that's when it kind of like
it came back into your life.
It came back into my life, exactly.
So let's talk about the bodybuilding then.
Yeah.
Because I think that's an interesting topic. What made you want to first get into it? Obviously, you know, you fell in love with the gym. You start looking at your muscle. You're like, okay, I'm getting kind of jacked. Like, this could be cool if I take this serious, right?
Yeah. So everything that I've done in my life, it kind of came from a weakness of mine. First, like the editing thing, I was kind of like invisible. Nobody knew who I was. I was the no one. And then as I got better with editing and videography, and I started getting fame on YouTube back at the time, I was becoming somebody, you know. I was becoming an influencer at the time, like one of the first influencers.
So that was to kind of fill a void.
Exactly.
In your life.
Exactly. So then the bodybuilding, I was always insecure about my body. You know, I was insecure about how I looked. And I was so insecure to the point where in class, like I remember in high school, they would go around the class and tell you like, oh, you're going to read this chapter of a book, and then it goes to the next chapter. So I would like count how many people are ahead of me, and then I would count how many chapters there were, and I would like practice my, it was bad, bro. It was so bad. I would stutter. I wouldn't be able to ask the teacher any questions. I would want to be like invisible. So then I was like, okay, I gotta get over this fear, you know? So I started going to the gym. I started working out with my friends, and over like a year, 2 years, I started gaining a lot of confidence to the point where I would have fun putting my hand up and asking the teacher and like challenging the teacher, you know. At grade 12, I was doing that. So going to the gym and working out and like being one of the biggest guys in the school, it allowed me to kind of bring out my true character.
Okay.
So that's why I fell in love with the thing. And I'll go through like everything that I've kind of done in my life is battling a weakness, and it will go through the shuffling and the other stuff too.
But it's interesting because like you didn't just accept it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do.
No, man.
Where they're like, okay, you know what? I don't like to read in front of the class. Maybe I'm just a shy person.
Yeah, no.
You know, a lot of people will do that though, right? Where it's just like, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just how I am, and I'll accept it. And every time I get picked to read, I'll go through hell just to get through this. So you kind of looked at that as a way to build your confidence, which was a weakness at the time. So talk about that journey. What were you learning about yourself on that journey? What were some obstacles that you had on that journey? Because again, bodybuilding, people look at it and they're like, yeah, it's easy. This guy's going to take steroids and he's going to be fucking jacked, and congratulations. But there's way more that goes into it, right? So talk about the journey that you had with that.
The journey, man, it's a long process, right? It takes years to build a physique. Like the first year I looked like shit. I felt like I was getting a little bit of weight. You know, I was eating like garbage, man. It was so bad. I was on a dirty bulk, as they would say. You know, I remember every lunch, me and my friends would go to the McDonald's and buy like 5 junior chickens, because back then it was like $1, $2.
The good days, man.
The good days, man. You would have like $5, $6. You buy 5 junior chickens, eat it down. And I was heavy, dude. I was the same weight I am now. And
so were you fat? Were you too skinny?
Fat. Okay. I was fat, but I had like some muscle. You know, like I don't recommend dirty bulking for anyone right now. Like
I think I'm doing it right now.
I know you're doing it, but like I think looking back, it wasn't the smartest thing for me to just eat as much as I could and just work out, because I gained a lot of fat, and then that took a lot of time to trim off over years and over diets and stuff. But it did speed up the process of gaining weight and gaining muscle, right? So for some people, like for example, you're a hard gainer, you're an ectomorph, right? I'm a mix between mesomorph and endomorph, which is like easy to gain weight, easy to lose weight. So like I'm kind of like in the middle.
Okay.
But some people are very hard to gain weight, and some people are very easy to gain weight. So those are like endomorph, like the thicker guys, the big guys. So everybody has their own body type. It comes with genetics and stuff. So Over time with bodybuilding, I understood like the splits to do, like how to work out, what compound lifts to do. And me and my friend would go every day. Like we after school, we would go straight. We'd bust it to the gym. We'd spend like 3-4 hours there. Like we were obsessed with this thing. And then we'd come home at like 8-9 p.m. at night. My dad's like, bro, where you been, man? Like, I'm like at the gym, bro. Like, you know, and I would actually be at the gym 3-4 hours. You know, sure, we'd go to the hot tub and the sauna and do the whole thing. But it was something I genuinely liked doing. You know, it was like spending time with my friends and working on our bodies. So over time, I started gaining confidence. You know, I started seeing, oh, my chest is growing, my shoulders are growing, my arms are growing. So I started to become like a man. You know, I grew out of that shell of being a little boy, like scared, insecure guy. So over time, I learned through discipline and hard work, you're gonna achieve the goal and the dream you want. And something I live by is create yourself. You know, like you can be a nervous guy, but that's not what you will be in a few years if you work on it, or a few months. You know, so every weakness I've had, I've always went headfirst into it, and I've always understood that if I have this weakness, it's because I haven't worked on this weakness, and I need to figure out what the problem is and go straight headfirst into it.
Damn.
Yeah.
So now I'm putting it together. The first weakness, right? It was kind of like you wanted attention with the editing, with the tutorials, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, it's true, bro. It's true.
You wanted some attention in some sort of way.
Exactly.
Right? And you're like, okay, I'm getting it through the online world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? These guys know me now.
Yeah.
The confidence you built. Was there any point that you, I guess, you know, didn't want to do it anymore, the bodybuilding? Was there a point that you're like, okay, like I have the confidence I want now, it's on to the next thing? Or was it something where it became more of your lifestyle? Because I even ask because a lot of people are trying to level up their body. That's a big thing for men, right? Obviously, I've been trying to do it now for a long time. I told you I'm eating this much, but I go on the scale, I lost weight. So more about like, I guess, advice for someone watching this that's in that phase. Maybe they don't have confidence right now, you know, and they want to get in the gym and they want to build themselves. What advice would you have for them?
I would say, man, like health is a big part of your body, and it's one of those things where your first impression on people, when you see them, if you see a fat guy and a fit guy, automatically you're gonna give more respect to the fit guy. You're gonna you're more likely to listen to him because he has discipline. He looks like somebody that takes care of himself versus the fat slob or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't want to, like, this guy can't even take care of his own body. So like, who's this guy to tell me about anything, right? That goes with business, that goes with relationships, anything. So your vessel is what you carry through life, and it's one of the only things that you're gonna keep with you until the day you die. So I think it's very important as a man or as a woman to go to the gym, get your health in check. And you don't have to be the crazy shredded guy on stage, like 4% body fat, 5% body fat. You just need to have like some kind of look where you look like somebody that takes care of his physique, you know, like you care about discipline, you care about your body, and you got to respect your body. You can't just eat like shit all day for years and then expect to look good. You know, that's just how it goes. So somebody who's just getting into fitness or whatever, it takes time. Like, you know, don't stop. Like, I know it's after a few months or years, you want the results fast. You know, don't go on steroids. You don't need steroids. Trust me. You can do it natty. It will take you a little bit longer, but the benefits is if you ever get off steroids, you lose everything right away. And then you got to get back on steroids to get it back, you know? So, but if you're natty and you train hard over time, you can maintain that going twice a week, 3 times a week to the gym. You don't need to go like every day.
True. Did you take steroids?
I never took steroids in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, man. You don't need it, bro.
Did you think about taking them?
I've obviously like considered it if I wanted to go down the pro route. You know, I got on stage. I competed in a natural show. Like at the time I had friends that were doing it and stuff. And I was just like, bro, I'm lifting more weights than all you guys. I look better than all you guys. They're like, bro, you're on steroids. Like my friends didn't believe me. They're like, you're on steroids. And I'm like, bro, you're fucking lifting no weight. Yeah. And you expect to get big. Like I'm almost pressing over my head 2 plates, natty, bro. And that's just from programming my lifts over time and going to the gym every day and pushing myself. And like, you can't just go to the gym and just do the same weight and just like, oh yeah, just do the same weight. Like, you know how people go and they just do bicep curls and they just leave. And it's like, you gotta start properly. You gotta start with the heavy compounds, and you gotta move to the middle work, and then you gotta end off with the accessories, right? Like there's a way to do it, and then there's a way to program your numbers where, for example, I do 5-3-1, which is a strength building program. And then you take that program and you add some accessory work where you gain size as well. So you're going for strength, you're aiming for strength. And over time, as you get stronger and stronger, your muscles will just grow as a byproduct.
What's the 5-3-1?
5-3-1 is it's a program that pretty much like you can get an app. It's free, and you just write your lifts. So like it's the 4 lifts: the bench, squat, deadlift, and overhead press.
Okay.
And then you take those 4 lifts, you put your 1 rep maxes. And if you don't know your 1 rep max, they have a calculator. Like if you do 5 reps for 185, then it tells you your 1 rep max. You just put it there and it'll tell you like every workout what to do. So the first week is 5 reps, second week is 3 reps, third week is 1 rep. So you're doing your max rep.
Yeah.
And then people don't train like this because they're used to just going there and doing like one plate, like, oh yeah, 8 reps. And then, bro, you got to push yourself. You got to do heavier weight that you're afraid of, bro. Sometimes I would do weight. I'm like, bro, I can't do this weight. Like, it's scary. Yeah. But you have to get under it. You have to feel the weight and you have to force your muscles to grow. True. And that's the natural way. Like, people on steroids, they're always like, do 45 sets of 15 reps. Yeah. And just pump the blood with muscle. I'm like, what the fuck is this going to do with me, bro? Yeah. I'm not on steroids, dude. Like, I need to train as a strength athlete, and as a byproduct, the muscles grow.
Did you see any negatives from the friends that you had that were taking steroids? Did you end up seeing anything that was like, you know, the dark side of what they did?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. The thing with steroids is once you're on it, man, you're never gonna hit that peak again, bro. Like, you can't do it naturally anymore. Like, and like a lot of my friends, they would have constant nosebleeds, like bloody nose all day. Like, and then as soon as we start like a diet or whatever, they'd be like, oh, I gotta get on my gear and I gotta do this and I gotta do this. And I'm like, bro, man, you guys, like, why don't you just change your program and train like hard, like how you're supposed to? And they're just like, it's like a shortcut, you know what I mean? So once you're kind of going down that route, and obviously there are people that are like kind of have my mindset and they take steroids, and those are the people that end up on Olympia stage and they do the crazy, like they make it, because if you can't replace hard work with steroids, and that's what people think, you know, they think that if I just take steroids, I'm gonna get huge. Yeah. So that's the way they think, and that's unfortunate that like it's become one of those things that like, oh, you got to be on steroids to be at the top level, and we're not all trying to be pro bodybuilders, dude. Like, we're just trying to have a good physique and look like a 6-pack, and that's it. Look, have a little bit of striations, and that's it. We're not trying to go compete in the fucking Olympia stage. Yeah.
And I think lately too, like, it's been testosterone's been very popular. Which, would you consider that a steroid?
I think it is a steroid, yeah, for sure. Anything you inject is a steroid. There are oral steroids, and I think peptides too. Like, even I was going to mention, peptides are growing now too. Like,
I see everyone posting
about peptides. Everyone's like, oh, you got to do this peptide stack. I'm like, bro, why don't you just work out like how you're intended to work out? Like, what is this fucking peptides?
So you think that's no different than a steroid?
I think it's you're kind of cheating, no? Yeah, it's helping you. Like, sure, it's like in your body, and that's
what they say, right? They say, well, test is already in my body. Yeah, I'm just putting more of that's already in my body.
I don't know, unless you're like 40 years old and your test has declined and you need it as a man. I think there's a certain age as a man like where you should be on test naturally, like 45, 50 years old. Okay, because it dips and stuff. Then as a man, like you it's just gonna make you feel younger. You're gonna have more drive. You're gonna have more energy. You're gonna feel like you're 30, 20 again. So I think there's a certain age where it's not a problem. But like the problem I have is when the 17, 16 year olds, they're like, oh, I'm gonna do my cycle and I'm gonna do trend and I'm gonna do tests and all this shit, and then they just fuck their lives up because of this influencer that said, oh, I'm on this gear and stuff and it's fine, you know.
Well, there's the guy Togi, you know Togi.
I know Togi, yeah.
Right, like he was on heavy roids, I think, for a long time, but promoting it, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna get this big. Then he had just a crash out. He almost died.
Yeah, man,
he was on a pod the other day on Raw Talk, I think, with Bradley Martin, and he was talking about like, yo, I almost died.
That's the truth about steroids, man. You don't see it though. That's the thing with steroids. You don't see the negatives. The negatives are inside you, bro. Like, your heart's fucking expanding. Yeah. Everything like is happening on the inside. You can't see it. Sure, on the outside you look shredded, you look lean, you look good, you may feel great, but on the inside it's killing you slowly, man. So that's why I say, like, you don't need this stuff, man. Why do you want to look like some Olympia guy? Like, just go to the gym, dedicate 4 or 5 years. After 5 years, I got on stage, man. Like, 5 years of training and I got on stage, and I look like better than 99% of the people on, like, you know what I mean? Just train, like, eat good food, eat high protein, train hard, train compounds, and over time you're gonna have the dream physique. And then just diet and you're gonna look lean and shredded. No need to take steroids.
I think you said it takes 5 years, right? So a lot of these guys, they see it's a lot to do with social media too nowadays, where it's like they see their favorite influencer. Okay, well, he's doing it. He's 24. What's the worst case if I do it? And they want to also be jacked as fuck by this summer. They're not going to do. They don't want to do 5 years.
That's the thing, man.
Right. And when it comes to test too, I know a lot of guys that take it. Some are older, some late 30s, 40s, and they like swear by it. They're like, yo, this changed my whole life. You know, but I guess what you're saying too is like maybe it's just a timing thing. Like, you know, if you're 22 taking test,
You don't need it, bro. You have high test, man. If you're eating organically and you're eating like healthy and you're sleeping good, training hard, bro, your body releases a bunch of testosterone, man. You have a high test, man. Like as a young kid, like up to 25, you know, like your body's still growing. You're not even at your peak yet, bro. Men reach their peak at 35. So
true.
Like, why are you? And I'm sure some guys want to enhance themselves. Cool, that's your thing. But it's gonna take off years of your life. Like, is it really worth it to look a little bit shredded? Like, you can do it natty, bro. People have done it natty, and it's not that hard. It's just you need to extend the time that people want to get shredded by this summer. You know, and I'm gonna get on all this gear, and then you're gonna shorten your life by 10 years. And it's like, bro, you gotta think long term, man. Like, you only have one life, man. Might as well like live it to the fullest.
Did you have like any? Because I guess now, okay, university, you're 21, 22.
Yeah.
Did you have any sort of like bad habits, any sort of addictions that you had to overcome at that point?
I would say the only thing is like a big thing in Canada is smoking weed.
Of course,
so
it's fucking everywhere.
It's one of those things that it's like it's pushed into us at a young age. You know, a lot of kids are doing it nowadays, but it's one of those things that I had to fight off and stop doing it. But nowadays I don't smoke at all. Like I've grown out of it.
Yeah.
So back then I used to do it as like a way to escape, you know, like back in university. I hate university. So it's like, well, how do I escape? Oh, I'm going to just smoke weed. You know, I'm going to chill and let my mind wander and stuff. But nowadays I don't do it at all. I'm clean and stuff. So I love it, man. I feel so much more locked in, so much more focused. And it's just a waste of money. It's a waste of time. It makes you forget stuff. It makes your brain like foggy and like, people use it as an escape, right? They're like, oh, I want to escape my life. Let me just smoke weed, go on TikTok and start scrolling or whatever. So I think it's just a waste of time. And if you're trying to reach that high level, you gotta take away all the bad habits and replace them with good habits.
Was there a moment that made you really want to stop?
Not really, bro. It's just
you just decided?
It was just over time I realized that every time I smoke, I get into a bad rut and I stop doing the things I need to do. And I start like focusing on the weed and it's like, oh, I got to smoke. I got to wake up and smoke. And it just becomes like a bad habit, you know? So I just kind of like, I was just like, bro, it's not needed anymore. You know, it's one of those things that it just pulls me, like it slows me down in my momentum going up. And I'm just like, bro, fuck this shit, man. I don't need weed, bro. Like, I don't need this shit. Like, get out of my life, like for good.
I stopped a few months ago. I was smoking though. And I would always use that excuse. You know, a lot of people use it. Well, you know, I get creative. I'm so creative. You know, I got to smoke this weed because I'm going to become so creative, right? Like where, you know, there was a good amount of time that I believed that.
Yeah.
Right now, do you think differently when you're smoking weed? Yes, for sure. You look at things different.
Yeah.
But the negatives that came from it, everything you listed pretty much, which is like, you know, you're kind of tired a lot now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're getting a little bit paranoid over nothing. You're eating like shit and you're like, well, it's okay because I'll just eat better tomorrow. I'll eat like shit right now because I'm high. Yeah. And tomorrow I'll be super healthy, right? But I think there is a lot of people that do find creativity in it. Now, I'm not going to tell them that, you know, stop because, you know, it's not going to give you any creativity. It might. What I would say is that the downside of it is it just outweighs the benefits, 100%. Right? Like, do you think that too?
I 100% think the same. And I said the same thing you did all the time. You know, I get creative, man. Let me watch this edit. Let me get high and watch this edit and think of new things. And sure, it does help a little bit. You know, once in a while, it helps to get your mind out of your current self and you see it from a different perspective and you have some cool ideas. But the negatives that come with it, bro, it's not worth it, man. Like, it's literally not worth it. You're like, you set yourself back 2 days to make forward 1 day. You know, that's like the thing. So I'm just like, bro, get this shit out of here. I can do it. I don't need any drugs. I just focus, get my routine on check, get my habits in check, and that's it, bro.
Yeah. So continuing the story now, I guess you stayed in university all 4 years?
No, so I dropped out after second year.
Okay, you had enough at that point.
I was like, bro, like this thing is like, I hate this thing, man. I'm just like, I'm so miserable waking up to get on this bus to go there to fall asleep. And I don't want to write essays on this random stuff. Like, it's nothing to do with kinesiology at this point. I'm just learning about random subjects because you got to fill in the
credits.
Yeah, the credits, exactly. And I'm just like, bro, like this is it. So I dropped out or whatever. And then another weakness of mine, which was I had a huge fear my whole life. I had a huge fear of dancing, bro. Dancing, like this is like something that people don't think about, right? Like,
of course, I was gonna say, how did you even think about that?
I remember in high school at like school parties and stuff, like, you know, to be trying to dance, and I would just stand there like this, like it was horrible, dude. And then
so you're like, I want to learn how to dance.
I want to change the fear. Like I
Okay.
want to break this fear, right? So another story to kind of show you how much like nervous I was to dance. So at my brother's wedding, they had like as like a Afghan or whatever, you gotta like show support for your family and you gotta dance, right? Like
Okay.
everyone in the family has to dance. It's part of the
Yep.
it's part of the religion. So like I remember they would like push me in the circle. Oh sorry, they would push me in the circle to go dance, and I would be like, don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm
Yep.
gonna fight you guys.
Yep.
Like, I'm gonna fight anyone that touches me. I was so like nervous to dance and show like some kind of like movement
Yep.
that I would like be willing to fight anyone. So I'm like, bro, I need to get over this fear, yo. So what I
Yeah.
did was I got into dancing, and I didn't want to learn like salsa or some shit. Like at the time, raves were cool, and with raves come shuffling.
Yep.
So that's when I was like, okay. And also at the time, I don't know if you know Z's.
Yes.
The
yes.
Z's,
yes,
yeah.
for
So I
sure.
was like, he was one of my big inspirations.
For
So
sure.
he would do his little like shuffle dance, and
Yeah.
like he would be like a shredded guy, and I'm like, yo, I want to be like that guy.
Okay.
He didn't care what people thought. He was dancing in front of the circle. You get on stage and start dancing in front of everyone. So I was like, I gotta learn the shuffle, man. I gotta learn the shuffle. So I started like watching tutorials how to do the Melbourne shuffle, and then slowly by slowly, I taught myself how to shuffle.
Okay.
And then, as I do with everything, I take it to another level. So I ended up making my own shuffle team called Zionify, and we became like one of the biggest shuffle teams in the world, bro. We would fly to different festivals and raves. They would fly us out. They would give us tickets to go there and to host shuffle circles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro. Like, and I was the leader of this team. So I had like 9 people in this team, and I taught them how to dance, like shuffle, like Melbourne shuffle with me. And then we each had our like our specialties and our characters and our combos and shit. And we would battle people, bro. We'd go battle some team from America, and we just in the middle of 200 people watching in a circle, and we just start shuffle battling to the beat and stuff, do combos.
Insane. That's amazing.
Yeah, the videos are online still, man. They're crazy, bro. And like we became super viral in the shuffle world, and that was just from a fear of mine that I had. And I was like, bro, I need to get over this fear. And now I don't care. Like I'll go and dance in front of everyone. I have no fear of anyone judging me. I don't care. Like I literally don't care.
So you self-taught yourself? Like, did
Yeah.
you go to classes?
No,
like,
no.
You were
I
just
hosted
watching. You were
classes.
just watching people.
I was just watching tutorials on YouTube.
And
like,
what? You're in your room at home,
Yeah.
just like fucking shuffling.
Yeah. I swear to God, bro. Yeah, just shuffling, slowly watching it. You know, like.
And this is right after you leave university, you drop out.
It was kind of like in the first, like, so with university, you had the Frosh Week. That was
Yes.
like my first experience with like a party, like a rave or
Okay.
whatever. So they had like the dances and stuff. And that was when I started learning how to shuffle. So then over the year, we would go to like Frosh parties, and we would like, there would be like EDM parties. So we
Yep.
start like shuffling and do like basic shuffles, and me and my friends. And we just like practice in the stairwell and shit, because we were all like kind of like awkward. Yeah,
You
bro.
got Jay laughing. That's
Yeah, man.
That's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
literally just picturing like me walking into a stairwell and you're just
Oh,
fucking.
yeah, I swear to God,
you
at
and your
York University,
boys,
bro. Yeah, this is a real story, dude. But like, this was something that like I've always, all my fears in life, bro. Like I gotta go head first, and I gotta deal with this thing, because no one's gonna come and fix it for me, bro. Like, you know.
So
what I mean?
you're like, listen, I can't dance at all, so I'm gonna be one of the best dancers in the world
exactly,
now.
bro. And that's the same thing with bodybuilding, bro. I think
Yeah.
I genuinely had one of the top elite bodies naturally after
Yeah.
5-6 years of training, bro. Like it's not. I didn't take no steroids. It's just natural training hard, and that was like same thing with editing, bro. I became one of the best editors, videographers like in the world, just by focusing on the task and mastering it.
What are your parents saying? Like, hold on.
parents-
Hold on.
my
It's like,
parents-
hold on. I'm gonna stop going to school.
Yeah.
You said you started shuffling during school,
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
in at school.
Yeah.
But what are your parents saying to you at this point? Because they're witnessing you go through a bunch of different phases in your life.
Yeah.
And you mentioned they're traditional parents.
Yeah, bro.
So first of all, you probably dropping out of university was a hard one for them to
Course.
swallow.
Yeah.
But then the follow-up
Yeah,
follow-up is like,
shuffling, man.
well, listen, I'm dropping out, but I'm also going to be shuffling around the world.
Yeah, man. And like my dad still like makes fun of me to this day, you know. He's kinda like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, but I think like I don't think he got it, you know. Like the reason wasn't the shuffling itself. The reason was for me to
Yes.
build the confidence and not care.
Yeah.
You know, and that was something that I learned from Z's as well. Is like, who gives a fuck what people think, bro? Like,
Which is like such an important thing to understand at a younger age too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like a lot of people, they go through their whole life caring about what other people think, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they won't do nothing.
exactly, bro. That's
Going
the
back
thing.
to it, it's like, okay, I can't dance. Well, I can't dance. I'm one of those people that just can't
Just can't
dance. I'm
dance, exactly.
I can't fucking dance.
Yeah, you
right.
put
But you weren't
yourself-
accepting none of this. Like, you were just like, okay, one battle coming, let's beat it. And like, you have that extreme personality where you're like, okay, no, I actually want to
I'm the best. Yeah. The only way through
I ain't doing no salsa, by the way. We're doing fucking
bro. I
shuffling.
don't wanna, like, what am I gonna do? Salsa at a fucking rave, dude? Like, I'm not going to salsa classes and dances. Like I'm going to raves, dude. So what do you do at raves? You shuffle or you fucking put your hand up like this. And that's like what you do at raves, right?
So what were your parents saying at that point?
My parents, they were like, "What are you doing, bro? You're wasting your time." But at the same time, they kind of were like, "Whatever, bro. Like, this guy's. I'm not a stupid guy, you know." They always saw what I was doing from a young age. They're like, "Okay, maybe this is gonna lead to something." So they would always kind of like have faith in me, you know. They're like, you know, like I get it. You want to do your raids and stuff. So they kind of respected it. They're just like, do your thing, build your shuffle team and stuff. And slowly over time, I realized that it wasn't gonna like pay the bills. It's just something to do for fun. And after a few years, I kind of like moved on from that. But they were always supportive. My parents were never really like, sure, they would like make fun of me here and there. Especially nowadays, they're just like, bro, remember when you were shuffling and all this stuff? They always bring it up at like family gatherings and stuff. They're always like, oh, remember when you're just shuffling and stuff? But it is what it is, bro. Like,
you were flying around the world?
Yeah, bro. We were going to all different festivals, like Detroit. We would go.
And they're flying you out.
Yeah. The festivals would get our team to go, like Veld. You know Veld?
Yeah, of course.
They got my whole team to go there. We had a huge official like meetup and shuffle. There to be 150, 200
I was probably there. I didn't even know.
Electric Island. Yeah, like,
of course.
bro. All these events, bro.
Digital Dreams, all of them.
We would have official meetups for all of these events, and there would be like 100, 200 people standing around the circle. We even had one at Dundas Square, bro. There was a bunch of people around watching, and we had like people that would come out to the shuffles and try to like prove themselves to get on the team. And there was like a huge like it was a big thing, bro. Yeah.
And how were they there? Okay, so I guess were you going hard on social media at all with the videos of the shuffling?
Yeah. Every event that we did, I did an after movie with like a bunch of effects and like a bunch of cool, and they would go like viral. They would get a bunch of views on Instagram, and then people would follow from around the world, and some people would fly out to come to the events because we were there, and they would meet us, and they would be like, yo, I follow you guys. So it was the same thing I'm doing now, but I'm just building it in a different niche, which is like rave and EDM.
What's like the craziest shuffle battle you were in?
The craziest shuffle battle was definitely Detroit, bro. There was like the OGs of the shuffle scene, which are like Star 67.
Okay.
Those guys were there, and we were there. And it's not like a battle where you like fight each other. It's more like it's like a friendly battle where you guys are like, we're all friends, but we were like, yo, me and you, let's go right now in front of everyone. And then you just freestyle on the spot. Like you would have to like drop some combos, like do some kind of, and then like, on the beat, you would have to time it because the songs, you don't know what's happening, right? The songs, so you become a master of music. You understand like when the beat ends, when the next snare is gonna come. Okay. So you could time a move and then land it on the beat, and then the crowd would go crazy. So depending on how the crowd would react, then you know if you won or lost.
Oh my god!
Yeah, bro. This is like a real.
It's such a good skill to have though, because like you could just pull up anywhere and start shuffling now.
Bro, this skill, it not only built my skill of dancing, but now whenever I'm in front of a crowd, I switch my character and I turn into the same character of me getting in front, because when you're in front of a bunch of people, you have like eyes all around you, right? Sure. So I train myself to go into a character, and then I would just be someone else. Like it's kind of like I'm acting like a character. Okay. So that allowed me to go on stage, speak in front of 1,000 business owners and like all these other stuff. So through that skill alone, like I've mastered speaking in front of people now. I don't care what people think of me. Like I genuinely don't give a shit what people think. Like this is how I work now. But that was through like years of looking like an idiot, dancing in front of people, like people making fun of me, like look at that dumbass and stuff. So like over time, like it like all these skills lead to different skills, right? So now I just, whenever I'm like in a situation where I feel like nervous and stuff, then I'm just like, okay, boom, flip on the character and just get into character. Yeah, because I'll teach my team members too. I'm like, yo, when you're in front of the circle, you got to get into character. You can't just be like awkwardly dancing. You got to like get into the flow and like look serious. And like you got to like, because that's what people see. They're like, oh shit, they feel the emotions.
I gotta go see these videos after. I gotta go watch
I'll
some.
send you the link, bro. Watch some, man.
We're gonna pop some of these up in the episode for sure.
Put it in the video, bro. Of course.
So you're shuffling. You're obviously getting exposure. You're getting out to these festivals, but you're realizing that it's not a money maker. It's not a career per se, right? Is that what you start to understand?
Exactly. Yeah.
And how long were you doing that before you start to realize that part?
I would say a few years, maybe like 3 years.
Okay.
3-4 years.
And you're not working at all? Like you're not doing anything?
No, I'm working. So at the time, I worked construction.
Okay, so when you left university, you go to construction.
Yeah, exactly. So my dad he's high up in a construction company, and he got me a job as well. So I was working through the different levels. You know, how they have like the different carpenter levels. I forget what it's called, but I was a level 3 or 4 or whatever before I quit. So you go like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 4th is the highest paying one or whatever. So I was working construction as like a main job, and then I was doing my shuffling thing and making videos on the side. And I wasn't really taking on any clients at the time. It was more like passion, you know, just kind of like I enjoyed dancing, and I enjoyed making videos for the team. So I just would practice making new edits. Every video would be a new after movie. So that would be like my thing.
Okay. So you're in construction, obviously very different than the school life. And the thing I want to ask you too is because you made money on YouTube years prior to that, right? Like, so were you not thinking like, shit, like this is like a hard way to make money when I already knew like I made money these ways? Was that ever something that you thought about?
Yeah, bro, it's true. But at the same time, I don't know. I didn't really like I didn't really like the editing tutorial thing. It became a chore for me. So it was easier to just go to work and just like get a salary and not care about like having to, because it became a chore to me. I don't know like what it was, but I didn't really like posting tutorials, and like it was just like I had to teach people other stuff. It became a chore for me. So I was like, I'd rather go to construction and get paid from doing this. At least when I'm there, I can like put an audio book in and listen and read and stuff. Okay. So that was kind of my way through it, you know. And then later on it came back. Obviously now I'm doing YouTube again, but it's a different channel or different direction than.
And what were you kind of learning about yourself at that point? The construction, and just working kind of like, you know, a regular 9 to 5.
So at this point, this is a pretty big story. So at this point in my life, I kind of realized that like shuffling wasn't gonna be the direction forward. You know, it's a small niche. It's a very small group. It's not like the general population where you can make money, go viral and stuff. It's very like sub niche and like EDM, and then EDM there's ravers, and then there's like shufflers, which is even less. So I realized that this is like cool and fun and all, but it's wasting my time. You know, I'm putting all this effort into videos. They're not making me money. They're just kind of wasting my time. So I realized that I needed to switch into another direction, which was take that same skill of making videos and go towards business owners and making videos, like marketing videos for different companies. So at the time I was using GoPro for all my videos. I didn't even have a full camera. So I asked my dad one day in the car. I was like, Dad, man, like, listen, like I'm getting older and I want to try something, you know. I want to invest in a camera, but I didn't have the money at the time, and I wanted to get like a pretty good setup at the time. You know, it was like $7,000-$8,000. I think it was close to 10 even. Get the gimbal, the lens, the camera, the batteries, everything, like all of it one shot. And then I was like, you know, I've never asked my dad for something up until this point. And then he was like, you know what, like I believe in you, son. Here's my credit card. Order whatever you want and stuff, and just pay me back whenever you get the time or get the money, you know. So then I bought my GH5, which is like my camera that built my whole career from the beginning, right? I just upgraded my camera like 3-4 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago I upgraded my camera. So until then I was using this GH5, and then I kind of realized that like I need to take this camera and make money, because now I'm kind of transitioning over, and eventually I knew that one day I would need to leave construction, because I can't work construction and then full time and then do videography and stuff full time. So then I realized I needed to prepare my mind and prepare my whole body and how I would focus to get to where I want to get to. So I went on a crazy monk mode.
Monk mode.
You know what monk mode is?
Tell me.
Monk mode is when you it's a phase where you go into like extreme focus and extreme like learning. And this is what I did. So I'll tell you the exact routine. So I read a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And this book taught me a few things. Number one is it taught me that the first 4 hours in your day are the most productive. That's when your brain is at the best cognitive function, most creative, and also going deep into something, like not shallow work. Like nowadays we're all distracted because we're on the phones, you know, like the social media companies want us to be distracted, want us to scroll on Instagram endlessly, just like brain dead zombies, right? But this book taught me that like the importance of going deep and focusing on something for 3 to 4 hours a day, and also the first 4 hours of the day. So I was working construction and I had to leave my house at 6 a.m. So I calculated, okay, I'm like 4 hours. I need to prioritize this 4 hours on my own business and my own goals. So I subtracted 4 hours, and I realized I had to wake up at 2 a.m.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, 2 a.m. So, and this is a true story. I did this for a full year.
Wow.
Full year, bro. So
what
I woke
time you
up
going to sleep?
like 7 p.m., 6:30, 7 p.m. Bro, it's serious, man. This is like a serious thing.
So you're getting back from work and you're going to sleep.
Exactly. I'm getting back at work from like 3-ish. I finished like 7 to 3. And then I would go to the gym straight. Like I would take my rice cakes and eat my Nutella rice cakes, and I'll go straight to the gym, work out 2-3 hours, come back home and sleep. Like instantly. I would just come back home and fall asleep. I was so exhausted, dude. So 2 a.m., wake up. First thing I would do, take a cold shower. And if you go from a warm, cozy bed into a cold shower, you've already won the day, because that's like the hardest thing you can do in a day. And I think it was like one of the hardest things, because you're just so comfortable, and then you turn a shower on cold and you just step in and you're like, oh my God, it's horrible. 30 seconds, a minute in there, just kind of like breathe, focus on breathing. Then I'd get out. I'll go straight into, we had a sauna at our house. So I wouldn't turn on the sauna. I would just sit in the sauna in darkness, and I would meditate.
Nice.
And I would focus. So this was like, I was training the skill for the cold shower. I was training the skill of doing something that I didn't want to do. This is like a skill that you need to do, because sometimes you're like, I don't want to do something. But then if you do this, and if you finish the hardest thing in the day right away, you're just like, bro, this day's easy, you know, kill it. So the next skill was focus. So as I said earlier, with the scrolling on Instagram, like they just want you to be distracted, social media companies. So you need to take back that skill of focus. And people think when you're meditating, you're just going like, like it's not like that, bro. You like thoughts come in your head, and you gotta refocus it on your breath. Thoughts come in your head like, oh, I gotta do this, breath. So for that, until the alarm goes off, you don't move. You just sit there, and anything that comes, you just refocus. It's kind of like going to the gym and doing reps. So I would focus. Next thing I would do, I was go to my office, and I would write, I would do a journal. So I would journal about my day, and like how I was feeling, what I was going through my mind, what I wanted to do, and then where I wanted to be as well in the future. Like, I remember in my journal writing, like, one day I'm going to be traveling the world. One day I'm going to be filming with the most famous people. And everything that I wrote in that journal, if I look back at it now, came true. And it's crazy, the power of manifestation, and like, it was unreal. Like, if I read it now, I'm just like, holy crap, I like predicted the future. So next thing I would do is a gratitude journal. So I would be like, I'm thankful for my parents, thankful for my family, my healthy body, whatever. Like, and then I would write a list of things that I need to do today. So either it would be editing and working on like whatever videos, or learning, because I got my camera at the time. I needed to master my camera. So I was watching videos on the camera, how to use the settings, how to go through the menu, what does what, everything, mastering that. Or I would read. So I would read about everything. I would read about like women at the time. I was one of those things that I wasn't good at. What else was it? Business, like how people are in the world, because business is war, right? You got to understand how people work mentally, what their intentions are, how they are true people. And then also like mastering your mind, like habits, routines, all this kind of stuff. So I would read, and through that year, I read over 100 books. Yeah, bro. I read over 100 books. It was crazy, dude. Like, I read so many books, and I wasn't just reading the books. I had like a notebook beside me, and I would read the line, and anything that was like, okay, this is kind of like a good point. And I would sit down and I would write the whole line again on the book. And I went through a couple of different like notebooks of notes, bro. Like, I still have them in my house. So all of this over time, most of the stuff retained in my head. Like, it may not be exactly what I heard, but like the knowledge and stuff, I kind of understood it like on a fundamental level. So over this time, over this year, I read so many books. I learned about the world. I understood that one day this would pay off. So that's when it led me to me quitting my job, and nowadays doing my high level sales and stuff with the entrepreneurs top of the world. So all of this knowledge now it comes into play into my life currently.
What year was this?
I don't know, maybe 2018, 2019, around there.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because I had a similar year. Now, I didn't have to wake up at 2. Lucky for me, right? I was blessed. I woke up pretty early. I would say 5:30. But I've had a very similar routine to what you had. I didn't read 100 books that year. Maybe I read 10. But I was meditating. I was journaling, gratitude journal. Doing the same thing when you're reading and you're taking notes, because it's like, okay, I'm reading this, but I'm not taking it in. I'm just reading to read, right? So highlighting it. Okay, go back to that chapter. Sometimes I would read books 2-3 times. And that year changed my whole life too.
Exactly, bro.
You know, and you know, me and Anthony, you met him, my business partner. We used to go to Tulum every year, Mexico. And we would go there to go manifest with each other and talk about the year upcoming and what we wanted. And again, a lot of those things came to life. Like if we look back even at our journals and stuff. So it's crazy you say that. It does work. It does work, and it changes your whole life, especially a whole year like that.
Exactly, man.
Right? So, okay, so first of all, like, what were you learning about yourself during that process? Because when I was doing it, I was like, damn, like all these things that I thought about myself or thought I couldn't do, I can actually do. Meditating, for example, obviously huge tool. I tell everyone to meditate all the time. I'm like, yo, you got to meditate a bit. Like, I think I was doing 10 minutes a day, you know? Let's talk about meditation first. How did that change your life?
So meditation, it allowed me to focus. So sometimes I would be so focused on reading that like my alarm would just go off. Like I started reading and then like my alarm would go off and it felt like instantly that I would be like done. And I'm like, holy crap, 4 hours done already? Like that's great. Cause I had an alarm, right? Like 6 a.m. I had to be upstairs cause we would leave for work. And like my dad said, like 6 a.m. you got to be upstairs. No matter what you do before, I don't care. Do whatever you want. So from 2:30ish, I would start up till 6 a.m. bro. I would be up ready to go outside. And he's like, holy. And then on the way to work, I would read as well. On breaks, I would read as well. And then during work, I had like a Bluetooth headphone.
Okay.
And I would just have like my audiobook. So like while I was like doing something repetitive or something, I would just kind of like play the audiobook and I would have like audiobooks going as well. And this is like something that it was a skill that I learned, right? Like people always say, I can't read. And it's like, bro, nobody can read. Like you got to build a skill. Like it's not something that you just like, that you learn overnight, right? Like when I first started, I couldn't get through half a page without losing focus. And I'm like I'm thinking about this and that. And I'm like, I just went through this whole page and I don't remember anything. So I go back to the top. So over time, slowly you get better and better. And then by the end of it, I was reading like 40, 50 pages without even thinking about anything. It was just locked in focus.
Damn.
So I just built the focus skill. And that was something that I needed, you know, to become that person that I wanted to be.
And I think you even nailed it when you said like, you know, do something really hard as soon as you wake up.
Exactly.
You know, obviously working out too is good and all that stuff, but I was cold plunging too at that point.
Yeah,
which
bro.
is like, dude, when I started cold plunging, I unlocked something else in my brain because I was like, wait a minute. This is so hard to do, but I'm doing it right now.
Exactly.
Like I'm in the tub.
Exactly.
Praying to God, number one. I was just like, please let the minute end or the 2 minutes end. But, you know, people think that stuff doesn't work or it's there's obviously health benefits for sure, but I always looked at that stuff as a mental strength, as a mental game. It's like, okay, like I just sat in a tub that's -5 degrees for 2 minutes. Nothing else today is going to be harder than that.
Exactly, bro.
Right? Which I think people need to take from that because the first 4 hours of your day, I love doing things in the morning. You can ask anybody on my team where I'm like, oh, if we're doing something, I want it to be in the morning.
Exactly.
That's why the podcast too was like, yo, let's do it 12. I don't like doing podcasts at night either.
Exactly,
I was like, no, I'm done by then. Like I'm drained. Exactly. So that definitely for sure changed the whole trajectory of your life. That 1 year.
Exactly.
Then you said you quit your job.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, now I'm jacked. I can shuffle. I'm mentally strong as hell now. And now I'm ready for the next step. So it's not like you really had any more fears at that point, right? You were kind of just like, no, I'm ready for another level, right? So talk to us about when you quit your job and how that process and journey was too.
All right. So this is a great story. You guys are going to love this. Okay. So at the time I moved out with my roommate at the time. Okay. So I was still in construction. I moved out with my roommate and this was after the monk mode or whatever. I'll still do it. Like I would still wake up early and I'll do the thing at the
I think
apartment.
you always take those habits with you now for the rest. You did it for a year at that length. Now you're always like, no, I need to keep this up.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much we moved out and stuff and he joined the war room. I don't know if you know the war room for Andrew Tate. So he was in the war room. He was like, yo, let's join. Like you should join too. And I was like, nah, I don't really have the motivation to join at the time. But he hosted a war room event at our apartment. Okay. And like 10 guys came from Toronto, like all the war room guys from Toronto, they came and stuff. And I was on my computer, like in the living room, we had our computer stations and then we had the sofa and stuff. So they were sitting on the sofa and I was trying to like ignore it because I wasn't really part of the war room and I didn't want to like include myself in their stuff. So I was just kind of like had my headphones on. They were going around the table introducing themselves because it's like the first time they're meeting, right? Yeah. So they're like, yo, Yaxo, come in. Like, why are you ignoring us and shit? And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. Like, I'm not part of it. Like, I don't want to like include myself. They're like, yo, just fuck it, man. Come like just come hang out, bro. Like, it's just us. Like, we're just hang out with like friends and stuff, you know? Yeah. So I went there and then we introduced ourselves and whatever. They were pretty chill guys. And then they're like, yo, we're going to go work out at the park. You want to come by and stuff? And I was like, sure, bro. I had my camera at the time. So I was like, yo, I'll do like a quick little video for you guys. Why not? Like, fuck it. I'll do a little quick video, 20, 30 minutes. So we went to the park, did a little sparring session, filming, and I filmed the whole thing. And then we went back to the apartment and I start editing it, you know, because I like when I get the flow going, I like to edit it, finish it. And then I finished the video at like 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. And then me and my roommate, we uploaded it straight into the group chat. Okay. And it's 2 a.m. our time, and it's like early morning Romania time. And the first person that sees it is Andrew.
Stop.
And then he was like, who made this?
And like at that point, just to give some context, did you know Andrew Tate? Like, were you following him?
Yeah. He wasn't that famous as he is now. Like, he was blowing up at the time, but he's not like super like world famous as he is now. Like, he's still in the beginning of like, but he was famous. You know, we looked up to him, we watched all his videos. We love his work and his like the way he speaks and what he says and stuff. We loved it, all of us. We were always like Tate fans or whatever, you know?
Yeah. So that morning he sees it.
Yeah, so he sees it. He's like, who made this? And then we're just like, oh shit, yo, Andrew just replied and stuff, you know? So long story short, one of the higher ups in the war room messages my friend, and he was like, whoever made this video needs to come to an event we have in 2 weeks. And then he was like, okay, cool, how much is he getting paid? And they're like, he's not getting paid nothing. He's gonna have to buy a membership. He's gonna have to fly himself there, and he's gonna have to work for free.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm like, oh shit, dude, like I gotta fucking do all this. So now I knew like this was like the point in my life where either I like go to this event or I go continue. Like I just like, fuck it, I don't want to do this shit, you know? So I go to work the next day, and I'm like, hey boss, I need to talk with you and stuff, like the CEO of the company. So I go into his office, and he's like, what's up, man? What's up? So I'm like, hey man, like, you know, I have this event coming up in 2 weeks. Like I got a cool opportunity, and they want me to go and make a video for them. And then I was like, do you think I could take some time off and just go for a week? And he was like, no.
Classic.
And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So right away I knew this is the point in my life. You know, either I take the leap and I go for it, or I stay stuck in this point. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what, boss? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to quit. I'm just like,
in the same conversation.
In the same conversation,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not. Either I can come for the next 2 weeks and I can show up and I can finish my 2 weeks, or I can stop today and I will never come back. And he looked at me straight dead in the eyes, and he was like, you know what, son? I respect you. You're taking a big leap. Anytime you want, come back, and your job is here waiting for you.
Nice.
And then he shook my hand. He was like, bro, you got balls, kid.
Damn.
And I was like, holy, dude. Like, that was like a huge relief on my shoulders, because I was like, bro, I just quit my stable job. I have a pension now for a couple of years. You know, everything's building, you know, like I have this like safety net, and I'm just leaving it.
Yeah.
So pretty much I didn't have much savings at the time, so I used all my savings, plus I borrowed some money from my friend. I bought my ticket, bought my membership, bought everything, flew down, and then I had negative $250 in my bank account. So I go to the event, and then like it's all these guys I've never met and stuff. You know, it's like crazy. Like it's nerve-wracking, right? Your first time going, and I was the only Canadian there. You know, they're kind of like.
So you went alone?
I went alone, bro. It was just me. Yeah, it was just me. I flew to another country, and then my dad was going nuts. He was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Like you're crazy, dude. Why are you leaving your safety? Like why are you leaving this job to go work for free?"
And he helped you get that job too.
Yeah, he helped me. So he was like, what are you doing? You lost your mind or what, bro?
Yeah.
You're going to work for free for these guys? Like, are you crazy or what? And he didn't understand at the time. Now he says like, oh, you know, like I'm proud of you, son. And
Of
like,
course.
but he didn't see the vision that I saw. You know, there's an opportunity, and from that opportunity led the life that I am living now, right? So if I never took that step, I would still be in construction. And it's not like it's a bad thing, but it's not something that I want to do with my life. You know
Of course. Which it's important too to bring up that point, like with your dad, because I think a lot of people get to that point and they're like, okay, well, you know, my dad knows best for me, so let me just listen to my dad.
Exactly.
Right. But sometimes it's like, and I say this a lot, but it's you need to, first of all, follow your gut, which clearly you had a gut feeling where you're like, yo, I have to do this. Mm-hmm. Right. But not everyone's going to understand the journey that you're on. Mm-hmm. Like for your parents to understand, traditional parents, very similar to mine, for them to understand, hey, like I'm going to see Andrew Tate at his event to shoot for free. I'm doing it for free because if he likes it, it's going to lead to something. They're not going to get all that. Right. So it's brave of you to have made that decision. I think that's key, because a lot of people watching go through those decisions in life where if you didn't take that, again, we're going to get into what happens after that. But if you don't take that opportunity, your life goes a whole other route, right? Okay, so you're going to Romania alone, solo, minus $250 in the bank account.
No,
right?
it wasn't Romania, actually. It was the US. It wasn't Andrew wasn't at the event at the time. Like he was busy doing something else. It wasn't Andrew at the event. It was another event with the War Room guys, and it was like some of the higher up guys in the War Room, like some of the top guys under Andrew.
So you're going to the States.
I go to the States, Utah.
Okay, cool.
And I film an event called Iron Shadows 2.
Okay.
And pretty much I get there and I knew I had to kill it, bro. This is like my opportunity, you know? So I was like working like mad, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, I started from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. I was filming all day. You know, they would have their segments. They would go do sparring. They would go sit down for dinner. I would film some scenes. Okay. And from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. filming, and then I would take all the footage, put it on my laptop. You know, I even bought a laptop for this event because I couldn't take my big PC, right? At the time, I didn't have a MacBook or whatever. So I transfer all the footage. I start editing, you know, all night. I'm editing every night from 11 p.m. till 9 a.m. in the morning. I'm editing, like every single night, and it was 7 days. Damn. Yeah, and then from 9 a.m. the higher up guys would come down and they would watch the video and they'd be like, "Holy shit, dude, this is insane!" Okay. And then they would be like, "Okay, great, like you can go like sleep or nap for a bit or whatever." And I was like, "Bro, the fucking event's starting in like an hour, dude."
Yeah.
So I would go nap in like my bed or whatever for 2 hours, wake up and I'd do it again, and like I was running on no sleep, but I was running on pure inspiration, like pure passion.
Yeah.
Pure passion, bro. Like I felt like the more like I was running on no sleep, but I had full energy all day, and I was doing something I loved. You know, it was way more fulfilling than going to construction and like screwing in nails and stuff. You know, so I was loving it, dude. It was like the best feeling ever. And then in the morning, it became a thing where they would play the video on the big screen in front of everyone, and that was like, bro, after that I could not sleep.
Yeah,
it was done, bro. It was like, because like the dopamine you get as an editor, like video editors will know, like when somebody sees your work and they love it, it's just like another feeling, you know. You just feel like all the work paid off. You know, so they would play it in front of the whole event. There were like 30-40 guys there, and they would play it. They'd be like, oh fuck, like this is crazy, dude. So and then like I would have to sleep after, and it was like the worst thing because I'm laying in bed and I have like full energy. I'm like, I gotta go again. So it was a cool event. Anyways, so
and are you chatting with them? Are you talking to the higher ups, I guess, and saying yo, like if everything goes good, like can something happen, or you're already having those chats?
Talking with them. Yeah, exactly. At the time they had other video editors there, which was like
they're probably like, who the fuck's this guy? This guy's too sick. Like I'm gonna lose my job.
That's the thing. When video editors and creators meet on a job, it's kind of like a battle, because you're kind of like, you know, like they're trying to come and take your job, and it's kind of like a clash. You know what I mean? And it was there. Obviously, they had their own guys there, and those guys would ship in boxes of equipment, dude. Like boxes, like $50,000 Pelicans, big ones, and they would ship it in with like all these cool camera sliders and all these cool tripods and flashes and everything, like professional gear. And I just had my gimbal and my GH5, like a shitty camera, like now if you compare it. But it was just like they would spend like an hour setting up the shot for like one sliding shot, and I'm like, dude, move this thing out of the way, give me my gimbal, one shot, let the guys eat, you know, because we had a shoot where they were eating, like it was a steak, it was like a toast video, and then they made the steaks, and then it was time to film. So the steaks are getting cold, and these guys are putting the slider on the table, and they're like, oh, we gotta get this perfect shot. And I'm like, dude, move this fucking slider out of the way, give me my gimbal. And I would just put my hand over the table, and like in 1 second I would just do the shot, and I'm like, okay guys, eat your food, like enjoy. And like people don't understand, you gotta work with speed, bro. People don't want to spend an hour and a half waiting for you to take your shot. Like you gotta speed it up a bit. Like this is run and gun shoes. This is not a film production that has 45 days to film a scene. You know, so they weren't really happy with that, because they were like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, you're making us look bad, dude.
Exactly.
So, but at the same time, it's like, it's part
you gotta
of the
do
game.
what you gotta do.
Yeah, I was just like, bro, like, I'm not trying to take your job or anything, but I'm here to prove myself. I'm sorry, dude. So we had kind of like battles, dude. Like, it was bad. Like, because they would make their own video. And then I would make my video. So they, like, we'd film all day. Like, they would film their stuff. I would film my stuff. And then we would like edit on the other side of the room. There were two guys. There's two guys. So they would be editing, and I would be editing myself. And then they would stay up all night. I would stay up all night. And then in the morning, the higher up guy would come, and then he would watch, and they're like, yo, come watch our video, because they were already in the war room. They were like known as the video guys there. They were like bigger in the war room and stuff. I just joined. I'm this new Canadian guy, you know. So then the guy would just put on the headphones and watch it, and just be like, what the fuck is this garbage? Like, they watch his video. And then I would be like, yo, come watch my video, bro. What do you mean? Like, there's two videos. So then he would watch my video, and you just see his face go like, holy, this is like a movie, dude. And he would be like, everyone. Like, he literally said this exact thing. He was like, after like the second or third day doing this, he was just kind of like, everyone, whatever Yaxo says, we're doing it.
Damn.
So then now I have the ability to direct people. So I had this idea to go on top of a mountain. Like, for some reason, there was a mountain attached to the Airbnb. I don't know why.
A mountain.
Like a big hill that looked like a mountain. And the war room has this thing where it's like Wudon Mountain. It's like climbing up the Wudon Mountain is like a metaphor that they have. So I was like, yo, what if we take all the guys and we go up the mountain? It'd be sick footage, no? Yeah. And they were like, oh, you can't do that. You can't. In the beginning, they're like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Oh, we have our ways. You got to just stay quiet and film from the shadows. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this, bro? I'm here to like make cool videos. That's my purpose here. So why can't I just like give some opinion or some like direction? And then after I prove myself like one or two times, they're like, okay, you know what, bro? Like, whatever he says, we're doing it. So then like we did all these cool scenes, all these cool like videos with themes and stuff, and they loved it, dude. It was amazing. But going back to your point about me talking with the higher ups at the end of the event, so he like the guy took me outside. He was like, come, we gotta talk. He was like, bro, your work is the best I've ever seen in my life. Wow. And we need you working with Andrew full time. Damn. So we walk. He was like, how much do you want? So I give him like my price, and then he was like, you know what? Like, he was like, I gotta talk with Andrew or whatever, and like discuss
it. How did you come up with your price at that point?
I kind of had an idea. You know, like, Andrew was a rich guy at the time, you know, and I saw my value at a certain price, and I was like, I'm not gonna leave my life and focus on your videos unless you can hit the price. You know, I know you guys have money. You guys are not broke guys. You guys are making money off these events. So this is my price. It's not a crazy expensive price, but it's like a fair price, you know?
Okay.
And at the time, they weren't really invested in social media like they are now. Like it wasn't a big thing back then. Like now it's like huge to have like crazy media and stuff. But back then it was more like Andrew was only doing phone videos and like webcam videos. And that was his thing. So what happened was it didn't work out. Because at the time, they were like, oh, I don't think we're ready to spend this much money per month to have you working full time or whatever. So I go back home. I fly back home. And I have negative $250 in my bank account. And then I'm like, fuck. I'm like, oh, shit, dude. Like, what is going on? So, and the next day, rent was due, dude. Like, the next day, dude. It wasn't like a couple days. Like, it was the next day. And this is how life works sometimes, right? You're just kind of like put into this corner. And you got to either come out or you die.
Yeah.
So pretty much at the event, I was smart, you know, I wasn't like an idiot. I wasn't just hanging out and shit. I was filming the different parts of the event like day to day. And I was also in between when they were kind of like getting ready and stuff. I was like, yo, you look sick. Come here, dude. Let's take some photos of you, videos of you. You want some videos for your Instagram? You want some photos? Let's do a shot of you walking in here. Sick. And I'll wrap around you with the gimbal, get some shots of you. So I was getting videos and photos of every guy there, you know? And then when I got home, I went on my computer, got all the clips, put them in different folders of each guy. And then I sent each one a message. I'm like, hey, man, how are you? Oh, hope you're doing well. I have a bunch of photos and videos of you. I can edit them together for your Instagram. Here's my price per photo. Here's my price for video. And then I sent it all to them. And I went to bed. I sent my Bitcoin address. And I woke up with like $8,000, like $7-8 grand USD in my bank account.
So wait, you sent them like the folder you sent like to pay for it?
I sent them I sent them like the low resolution version of the photo. Of course. And then I just sent it to them. I'm like, here's the photos. You can pick how many photos you want, how many videos you want. And I'll give you, like, this is the price per photo, price per video. And then I can give you a package. This is the package price. And then they just straight sent the money, bro. They were like, here, I want this. Here's the money. Send. So
that's genius, though. That is smart to do.
Yeah. So you got to hustle, right? You got to make it work. So that kind of blew my mind because I'm like, holy fuck, dude, I can make this much money. Like, I didn't even get paid for the event, but I can make this much money from the event. So I'm like, yo, this is sick, dude. I love this shit, you know? And like, I would make that much money in like two months or 3 months of construction, you know? So I made that in like one night. Well, not one night technically, but you get my point. Like,
of course.
You can make that in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So that was the story of how I quit.
So you make $8,000 the next day.
Yeah.
And now what's the mindset? What are you thinking now?
Now I'm like, holy crap, dude, I can do this full time. Like I can make like, making content is way better return on investment of time and energy, you know? So, and I'm really good at it. Like people like my videos and my photos and stuff. So I can do this full time. Like it kind of like showed me that I can make money. Cause before this point, I never made any money with video editing, like real money. Like obviously I made money with like YouTube and stuff, but it wasn't anywhere close to this in the like one shot payment, of course. You know? So I was just like, holy dude, I can do this like full time. I can go like find clients and stuff all around Toronto, make videos for them, photos for them. So
okay, so now you're turning it into a business at that point.
Exactly. So now So now pretty much that's the business. I could go further along in the story if you want.
For sure.
Okay, so pretty much a month or two passes and stuff. And at the time, I wasn't really good with managing money, right? So like the money kind of flew out of the account. Rent was paid. I bought some kind of cool equipment. I was always investing in myself. So I bought like some cool lenses, some better equipment or whatever. And then the next rent comes along and I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, I got to do this thing again. So now I'm put into a corner again where I need to get my shit together and get some money. Okay. So now the War Room events are kind of like, it's kind of didn't work out at the time. Okay. I kind of stopped going to events and stuff and then they weren't really down to pay the price. Okay. So then I'm like, what else can I do? So like I was kind of making workout videos of them at the event. So I was like, okay, gym videos. Okay, so now how do I get gym clients? So I was going through Google Maps. I searched up gyms in Toronto and I found every gym and I went on the website, found the email for the admin guy, the marketing guy. And I started emailing everyone, bro. I emailed like 200 people per night. Okay. I was just sending emails out. I would make like a template email. Hey, how are you? This is my work. This is what I've done. I would send the War Room videos that I just created. Here's my work. I can do this for your video. And at the time it was COVID. True. So during COVID, nobody wants to invest. Everyone's scared, right? Nobody wants to invest.
Paying for, especially marketing and anything.
Exactly. They're like, why the fuck would I do marketing? Everything's closed, bro. And I pitched it in a way where I was like, this is the best time to make marketing videos because no one's in your gym.
That's what I was saying too. I was saying the same thing. It's like, this is the time you need to go harder on your marketing.
This is the time, exactly, because no one's in the gym, right? So
And did you have social media at that point? Like, did you?
I did.
Did
Yeah,
you start building the social at that point?
I did. I wasn't fully into it like I am now, but I
Okay.
was building it. I had like 10K followers or
Okay.
whatever. It wasn't like anything like it is now. But
Okay.
at the time, I was posting here and there. Like some war room guys would see it, some other clients, but it wasn't like anything crazy serious. So I sent a bunch of emails, and I wake up the next day, and I get an email back from one of the gyms called Vive Fitness.
Okay.
And that's where I actually met my girlfriend.
Okay.
So this is where the story.
She's behind the scenes right now, by the way.
Yeah. She's sitting right here. So pretty much, she's the one that saw the email.
Okay.
And she sent it to her boss, and she was like, "This guy's videos are sick. You gotta hire this guy." And she, at the same
hooked
time,
it up.
at her story, she told the gym guy, she's like, the only way I'm gonna work for this gym is if you upgrade your media. Like, you gotta invest in a content creator, because she's pretty high up in another gym. She was general manager of like 5-6 locations. She was
Okay.
killing it. So she switched over to this other gym, and she was like, "Listen, I'm gonna work for you. I'm gonna build your business. I'm gonna make it sick. But you gotta hire this video guy, because he's really sick." And like, just so happened worked out. You know, the only gym that replied was her gym.
Wow.
So the guy, he's like, "Can you get on the phone with me?" The boss or whatever. I get on the phone with him, like, "Hey bro, how are you?" Whatever. And I straight close him on the phone for like a $4,000 video.
Nice.
Yeah, on the phone. He's like, come in today. I'm gonna give you the check, and we're gonna start filming tomorrow.
Okay.
So pretty much then we go there, and it's COVID times, right? Everyone's
Yep.
off work. The gyms are empty. So he would like, he would make little shoots with all the not the members, but the workers.
Okay.
He would make the workers come, and she was one of the workers to be in the videos, and she hated it, dude. Like, I remember she would hate it. I would like kind of like flirt with her or whatever, and she would be like, "Oh, fuck off, like leave me alone."
Did you feel like there was a spark right away?
I kind of liked her, you know. I found her attractive, but she was not into me at all at the time. Like, she was like, "Yo, fuck off."
Did
like,
you show her the shuffle yet at that point?
No,
That's why you had to
no,
show her the
yeah,
shuffle,
yeah.
bro.
So a few months passed by, and I'm still making videos for this guy. You know, I'm making some videos over time, and he was a good guy, man. He was a great guy, like the owner of the business. He would pay me a monthly salary for this gym, and I would just make videos for them, content for them. I made a bunch of videos for them, like 15 videos or something, like a bunch of videos over the COVID times, and that was able to pay for my life and pay for my things. And then there was one event, I think it's 2021 at the beginning of 2021, and we went to an event, and she was there, and she was super mad. I don't know why she was mad, but there's a whole story for it. She was upset because she had like exams and stuff for her studies, and she was like, "Why are you bringing me to the shoot? Like, I have shit to do, and I'm super busy." So I was just kind of like, it's me, her, and some other guys there. And then she was kind of like, "Oh, I don't want to be in the video. I don't want to be in the video." I'm like, "Here, you take the camera, and I'll be in the video. Like, fuck it. Like, you can film me and stuff." So I would be like a little playful and like, you know, like flirty and stuff. And she got into a better mood, you know. She was like, "Oh, like, oh, this guy's nicer and stuff." So then after, I was like, "Oh, what are you doing after? You know, like, you wanna grab some sushi and stuff?" She was like, "Oh, you know, like, my day's already like bad, might as well, maybe he'll make it better, you know." So I took her, we had sushi, and then we went to her place, and I showed her the shuffle actually there.
And at that point, it was like, did you feel like you wanted to have a partner, like a girlfriend or something?
Yeah.
You were
I did. I've always kind of wanted a partner. Like, I think how it works is based on your father and your mother's relationship. That's kind of like what you go towards. So in my family, I had my dad and my mom. They're always together. They're always like a unit and stuff. Like, the dad would go work, the mom would be home with the kids. And then also in her family, like, the mom and the dad were always together. Like, they were a unit. You know, they would work together. They would hustle together. The mom and dad would always be there. The mom would look out for the guy and stuff. So we both kind of had the same kind of goal. You know, we wanted the family and stuff. You know, some guys like Andrew, for example, his dad was more away from his mom, and he would be with other girls and stuff. So that's kind of like the direction he went, you know, more like have multiple girls and stuff. But I've kind of always wanted a family. I've always wanted a big family, a loving wife and stuff like that. So that's the direction that we went. And then funny stories, actually, after the second date, I moved in.
Second date?
Yeah, man.
Oh my
True story.
God.
Yeah, true story. And it was kind of like we just clicked, you know, like,
damn.
Yeah, it was a cool thing. Like, we clicked right away, and like, you know, she's always like been looking out for me and stuff. She's always believed in me, even from the first day. You know, she's the one that got me that job. You know, if it was just the boss, you'd be like, "I don't care about this fucking guy." You know, she was like, "Oh, this guy's videos are cool, and he's like, he's not the average like video maker. You know, he makes some cool videos, so we gotta hire this guy." So, pretty much the story how we moved in together is like, it was COVID times, right? And everything, like, the city was shut down, everything was like on lockdown. And then I was living at my parents' house at the time, And pretty much my dad was very like COVID, like, you know, like if you're sick, you have to lock down. You can't leave the house. You got to stay in the house, stay in your room, like wear the mask and hand sanitizer, all that.
Yep.
So he was like, you know, like I had to make money. You know, I had my clients, I had my jobs, and he was like, at the time I got a little bit sick. He was like, yo, either you're gonna like stay here in quarantine or you gotta leave the house.
Yeah.
So at the time I was talking with her, and it was like the second date, and I was like, hey, listen, like this is the situation. I texted her. I'm like, yo, like my dad's like kind of telling me either I gotta stay in the house or move out. So she was like, you know what, come over. I have my place, and you can stay here for 2 weeks or whatever, quarantine here, and that's fine. So I went there, stayed there for 2 weeks, and I never moved out, yo.
Damn. Yeah. Good for you guys.
Yeah, man. Usually people take years to live together and experience how it is living together, but we did it right away, and everything was fine. Like we work better together anyway. Yeah. So.
And then, okay, in terms of, let's say, business, you were doing the stuff for the gym. Was there any other moments that really took you to another level? Because I know you ended up, you know, obviously you get into the car niche. Mm-hmm. You're talking about, you know, doing videos on these super yachts that you're doing. Yeah. Like, talk to us about some of those moments that happened throughout, I would say, what, the last 3-4 years?
Yeah, the last 3-4 years. Exactly. So pretty much what happened was around 2022 it was. Mm-hmm. I got a message from the higher up guy again out of nowhere. And this guy, like, he was super chill. Like, he loved me and he loved my videos, and he would always tell people from the war room to hire me.
Okay.
So I was still in the war room, and I was always kind of in the war room, but I wasn't really like
But in your mind, you're like, okay, that's done.
It's like, kind of, I kind of like assumed that they weren't down to pay for me, and I was like, okay, whatever. I had to find my own work. So he messaged me, and he was like, Yaxo, how you been? Like, long time, brother. And I'm like, oh shoot, like he's messaging again, you know? So he was like, for 2 years I tried to replace you and I couldn't.
Damn.
I tried to get other people to make the work that you did. Like, I couldn't. What's your price? Like, we're going to go through with whatever you want. We're going to pay you, and you're going to come work for us again. And I was like, oh shit, that's sick, dude. So that came right after I started doing the meditating and the journaling again. And I said in the
you brought it back.
I brought it back because I was like, you know, I gotta get back on my what brought me here. You know, I gotta lock in. I gotta start waking up in the morning, cold shower, routine, meditating, and I would write like, this year is gonna be the year. This year is gonna be the year. I'm gonna be traveling with the biggest names in the world. And then a few months later, I'm with Tate. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy how the power of manifestation actually comes back, and you make your reality true, you know? So pretty much he flew me out to Mexico for Iron Shadow 7, you know? So I filmed Iron Shadows 2, and then there was like 3, 4, 5, 6. And then for 7, he's like, yo, you got to come back, dude. Like, the videos are not on point. We got to get your work again. So then I flew down for Iron Shadow 7, and then they were like blown away again. I did the same thing. I made some sick videos for them. They were like, yo, you're the best, man. We got to get you full time. So then I started working with the War Room full time. Okay. And I was traveling from event to event. And then there was a big event called The Test for Andrew. It's like a big thing they have every few years. They have a big event for all the members to come, and it's like a challenging test that you got to do. So that was when I first met Andrew. So I went to Romania, and then I met Andrew, and I was nervous, bro, when I first met Andrew. You know, like, you're like, this guy's gonna like.
Well, you've been watching him also for years, right?
Right, and it's kind of like you meet this guy that you look up to and shit. You're like, holy fuck, dude! Like, he's gonna like be rude and shit. And like, bro, the first time, I'll never forget. I walked on his property, and like he like turned and he spotted me, and he just like his big smile came. Yeah. He started walking over. He's like, Yaxo, man, great to see you, bro. You've been killing it, man. Like, I love your work, dude. Like, happy. Like, anything you want here is your house. Like, feel free. Like, super nice, dude. I was like, holy shit, this guy's so like friendly and stuff. I didn't expect that at all. And like, over the years, we made a lot of videos. We were like traveling full time, and there's endless videos that I can bring up and ideas. But one of the best videos, I don't know if you've seen the Matrix one.
Yes.
With the Morpheus, that was like my idea, bro. I had this idea.
Stop.
Yeah, because I would always see him talking about the Matrix. And
of course. Because this was like around the time like he was getting canceled. They were trying to cancel him.
Exactly.
Was this, right? Because pandemic, right? Like,
it was that time. So pretty much like that was when I came to Romania. I had this idea because I'm like, yo, this guy, he always brings up the Matrix and stuff. I'm like, Andrew, what if we, like, I told him this in person. I was like, what if we remake the scene with Morpheus, and you wear the jacket and you have the red and the blue pill and stuff. So it was great. It was cool. And he loved the idea. He was like, bro, this is a sick idea. Let's do it. I actually have the exact jacket and stuff. So he pulled it out, and I'm like, bro, this is so sick. So we would make that. And he knows, like, whenever I'm there, I have these like creative ideas and stuff. And it's always like some big productions that we make. Like, also a couple of days later, we went to Transfiguration Mountains. Okay. I don't know if you've seen like the red and the blue sports car racing on those like winding mountains. Those videos, these are all like viral videos that they made. And this was like, I think the first time they actually like invested in some proper media.
Yeah.
You know, before this, it was just iPhone videos. Like Luke was filming on the iPhone, and it was just like phone videos and stuff. They had like the cool content and the cool life, but they didn't have the cool videos. So that's where I came into it, and I brought this like production value and this high end ideas and stuff. So we made that, and then they invited me to their yacht, the Croatia yacht event. So I don't know if you've seen those. Those are probably like the most viral.
That was
videos
Yacht
ever.
Week, right? That was
the original Yacht Week.
Yeah.
So when they got canceled right away,
Yeah.
and I think we were on the flight and they got canceled or something like that. It was right away. Like I remember them pulling out the phone. I was like, oh shit. Yo, look,
So
we
at
got
that point, are you just living with him?
Yeah.
You're just living at his house, flying with him, going back and forth. Okay, sick.
Yeah, so I was living with them, and Amanda was there actually as well.
Sick.
So she was there with me.
What
She
an
would help me.
experience, eh?
It was cool, man. And she would always help me. You know, she was always like my right hand on shoots. You know, whenever we needed, I needed her to get a shot or stuff. And she was the first one to actually record me, like, cause like whenever I'd be with people, they would never record me. So she would be like, "Yo, go! I'm gonna film you BTS."
It's true.
And those are the videos that went viral first, bro. Like those are the
True.
first videos that she recorded on her phone that went viral before all the
On your socials.
on my social. I got 4 or
Okay.
5 million views because it's showing, like, that's the thing nowadays is like you got to show the behind the scenes and then
course.
show the final. And this
Of
is something
course.
that I think we're like one of the pioneers of this, like, because before this no one was doing it, like,
Yeah.
and then so we started showing me filming Andrew and then showing the final of Andrew kicking the box and like
Yes.
the boxing bag and stuff, and then like the transfiguration, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like one of those like superpowers having her around.
What did you learn from being around Andrew?
I learned discipline, a lot of discipline, because those guys are super locked in. Like the first, like when I went into his office or his like living room or whatever, all the guys are working together, and it's just silence, and all you hear is like, and then you just see him get up, and he like walks out of the room, and you hear clink, clink, clink,
Yeah.
clink. And this is true. Like this is actually what he does, and he comes back, sits down. Tristan, money's coming in 40K, 80K, 100K, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, holy shit. I'm just sitting behind him in silence, and I'm like, bro, this is real. Like, this is not no fake shit online or whatever. This is how they work. And they're all silent. They're all just working. And it's just like pure silence. And then for me to ask him to get up, it's kind of like I feel bad almost, because I'm like, dude, like I'm here to film, but like you're working. So like it's like this always with him. Like even on the Croatia yacht, he didn't want to get up and film, and I'm like, dude, you fucking rented this whole thing out. Like it's $1 million trip. We got to film some content.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'd rather work. I got like stuff to do and stuff. And I'm like, come on, like 10 minutes we'll film, and then you come back and work.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of pushing him to get on the jet skis and get on the punching bags and stuff, because I had these ideas. I'm like, yo, we got to do this kind of stuff. No one's seen you do this before. And he's like,
Of course.
so he trusted me. He's like, yo, you're sick, bro. Like, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Obviously, to be in that kind of circle, he trusted you.
Yeah, exactly.
And why do you think he trusted you? Why do you think he built that trust with you?
I think over time, right? It doesn't come overnight, So over time, I've kind of proved myself to him, starting from the first event, Like I went to the event, I killed it. And then from the second event, it took like a couple years for them to kind of invite me on, And like I've been vetted by a lot of people in the war room. Like I've been to many events. And before they come in person, like you meet them in person, you got to go through some tests and to see how you are, right? Like
Yes.
they put you in situations, and like other people are kind of like judging your character. And these are like people like at the top of the game of like seeing personalities and how you are, right? So
Of course.
I think they just kind of saw that I'm just a guy that wants to make cool videos. I don't have any bad intentions. I'm not here to fucking do anything weird. I just want to make cool videos, dude. Like if you don't want me here, I won't be here, dude.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
So I think he saw that right away, and he was like, yo, this guy's sick. He's just trying to make cool videos for me, and that's his like purpose here.
Well, you say the name Andrew Tate. A lot of people, they either love him or they hate him. I personally love him. He's obviously very controversial online too. What was he really like in person? Like for someone that just watches the 3-second clip of him yelling and, doing his usual thing, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people get that impression from him, right? They just watch those little clips that, he knows what he's doing in those clips too. He's being very controversial. He wants it to go viral. What would you say to someone that maybe thinks bad about him? What would you say to them? Like, what is he really like?
Yeah, I think people that don't like him, they obviously see the videos and they don't like him. But when you meet him in person, man, he's completely different person. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just he's so friendly and so nice to everyone he meets, like from the workers to his people at his house, the maids, everything. Like he's super friendly, super nice, please and thank you everyone. He pays for everyone's stuff always, bro. Like this is the only guy I've ever met that will go to a dinner. All of us, like 30, 40 people, we just show up, and then he's like, waiter, come here. Instead of everyone ordering their own food, he's just like, bring everything and bring like 5 of it.
Yeah.
And he would just be like, anything you guys want, order it. Like don't ask me, just order it. Like order it. And the bill will come, you just tap it, get up and walk away, like boss, like straight boss.
True.
So, and like he's just like, I don't know, like how to, like he's nothing like Like I've never seen him mad or never seen him like angry unless the camera's on, you know, like the camera's on, then it's like a purposeful, you know.
So there
like,
is a little bit of character he's playing, obviously.
yeah,
when
of course. That's just how it goes, right? You need to be this character online for people to have strong opinions. Either it's hate or love.
Yeah.
You're still getting them to engage and still getting them to share and stuff. So I think that's kind of the way he does it, is like he's more aggressive online and more like straightforward, cutthroat.
In your face, yeah.
That's what gets shares, and that's what caused him to go viral, you know. So I respect him, and that's his game plan. He's a chess grandmaster, so he's smart with his brain, you know.
Yeah. And what do you think about his partnership and brotherhood with Tristan? Because I personally love it. I think they do everything together. They have each other's back. Yeah. I think it's a great example of, first of all, business partnership, but also just brothers in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the ultimate goal for every man, you know, to have a brother like that. Mm-hmm. Tristan is super loyal. He's always looking out for him. He's always there. You know, he's the last one that leaves. He's always watching over his brother whenever he's there. If you ever seen the interviews and stuff, he's always in the corner watching, you know. And Tristan's like super, I don't know, I feel like they have like some telekinesis stuff going on, you know. They have, for sure. They're like almost twins, you know, like they're a few years apart or whatever, but they're so like connected that I think they have like some superpower. And I think it's very powerful, but most guys don't have that, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Like that's the sad truth about the world. Like that would be great if I had that. You know, I don't have brothers that are like that with me. Yeah. And that is unfortunate. But at the same time, I have a girlfriend that does that for me too, right? So it's kind of like another way of looking at it is, if you have a girl that truly loves you and she puts you at the center of her world and she cares about you and she has your best interests at heart, then it's kind of like having a brother like Tristan. True. Because when I'm at shoots, I'm always moving forward. I'm always locked in. I'm always focusing on what's next. And then sometimes I can't see what the people behind me are doing, like if they have bad intentions and stuff. So that's where she comes in, kind of like Tristan is with Andrew. And he's watching silently. He's seeing, oh, this guy's doing this. This guy's doing this. He's a little bit like, doesn't have your best interest at heart. So she's able to see this. And it's like a superpower. It's because of having eyes on the back of my head. Mm-hmm. So she's one of those people that truly cares about me, truly loves me, and she puts me before herself sometimes. So always, actually.
It's gonna make me cry on this pod right now.
Yeah, man, it's true, bro. And like, I wish I had a brother like Tristan.
Of course.
But unfortunately, the reality of the earth is not everyone's gonna have that relationship. And the next best thing is if you don't have a guy friend or a brother, because I think every guy to a certain point is looking out for themselves. Mm-hmm. Even if you're working for someone, like if someone's working for you, like they're here because you're paying them. Mm-hmm. But a woman, like a strong woman beside you, it's the only thing that's kind of like, you guys are in it together. Like you're a unit because you're going to go home to the same family and you guys are kind of in it together. So if you don't have a brother, then the next best thing is having a girl that looks out for you and cares about you and puts you before herself. So that's why I think if you can find that and you have one that cares about you truly, it's a superpower, like having a brother like Tristan.
And when you're with Andrew and Tristan and you're working with them, you're doing the videos, do you find that it's getting to your head a little bit? Do you find it's getting to your ego, or are you staying humble? Because obviously, like a videographer out there, you're like, yo, I'm with Andrew Tate. I'm the shit. You know, it can get to your head, but I feel like it hasn't, obviously, for you to still be successful and still be working hard. It didn't. But did you feel like it was getting to your head a bit at all?
I think, of course it does. Like when you're having that much success and you're blowing up like 10, 20,000 followers overnight, it's like, holy dude, like this
because
is
your
like,
personals are growing at that time too.
Exactly.
Because you're posting behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm posting behind the scenes, posting with him, posting videos, dual posting with like his pages and like his friends' pages. So like everyone's kind of like funneling to like see Andrew stuff, and they're like, oh, this guy's posting, he's with Andrew, so like let's follow him too. So I was blowing up at the time too. Okay. And it was great, man. Like I loved it. It was a great experience to it was kind of like when I was younger and I felt that same energy, like that same success from YouTube at a young age. Yeah. It was the same thing, but I always kind of knew that it would come eventually, you know, and I manifested it and I worked hard towards it. And this is the rewards for all the hard work and all the years.
Yeah. So you stayed humble.
Of course, you
humble enough to keep going.
Yeah, you got to stay humble, dude. Like that's the thing with life. You can't be an asshole. You can't be egotistical. You know what I mean? There's always a bigger fish in the sea, you know? Even if you're the best, there's always going to be somebody that's better. So you gotta be ego. Like you got to have your ego, and you also got to know when to like chill out and like not make people feel like shit. And you know what I mean? Like be a humble guy, be a friendly guy. And you don't want to, like, I always treated my relationships like I don't want people to hear that I'm coming and they're like, oh, fuck this guy, you know? I always want people to be like, yo,
good energy.
Coming, yo, he's sick, bro. I'm excited to see you, bro. Like, catch up. I never like put people down like, oh, you're a loser, you're this. But like, it's part of the game. You got to be humble, man.
So how long were you working with them for at that moment?
So at this moment, we were traveling with them for a couple months.
Okay.
I think like, but I was working with them, and then I was also working for the War Room. So like, I would
Okay.
go film for them for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I'll go for a War Room event, and then
And they're just flying you around.
yeah,
Hey,
I would
go to
just
this
from
event,
place
come
to place,
back.
go to a bunch of countries,
Sick.
go there, and then come back to them, and then go to
Okay.
them to Dubai, then go back to the War Room event, Spain, everywhere, all over the place, and then he gets arrested.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that's what stopped it.
that's what it kind of like put a pause to it.
Of course.
So he got arrested at the end of December, and then it was like bad, you know, like I felt bad and stuff, you know, like of course like it's a bad situation to be in, and all the events stopped, you know. So then I went back home, stayed with my family, spent some time with the family, took some months off and stuff. So then I didn't know where they were gonna come out, right? Like at this point, it's like, oh shoot, like are they gonna be in there forever? It was looking like they're gonna be there for a long time.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was getting a bunch of opportunities, and I started taking on some new clients.
Okay.
Because I gotta feed my family, and I gotta make bills, stuff. So I started taking on some new contracts, some new clients, and I signed some contracts. And then he gets out in like March, I think end of March or whatever. So he texts me. He's like, "Hey G, how are you, man? How you been?" I was like, "Oh fuck, man, long time, bro. Like, how you been and stuff." We catched up a bit, and he's like, "Yo, do you want to come fly out to Romania and live with us and work with us full time and stuff?" And I was like, "Fuck, man. Like, unfortunately, dude, like I signed a bunch of contracts at this point. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not the type of guy to tell my clients, "Oh, fuck off." Like I took the deposit, I signed the contract. The guy's relying on me to come to his event and film it like across the world and stuff. So I was like, you know what, like Andrew, I explained it to him, and he was like, yo, he was chill. He was like, yo, no worries, G. Like you're fucking sick. I'm happy for you. You're killing it. But then pretty much
Damn. So you said no to him. That's a tough no.
Yeah, bro. It's
That's a tough
it's
no.
unfortunate, but
For
I
sure.
told him, I was like, yo, listen, like anytime you have an event in a couple weeks or a month, let me know. And I'll take time off. No worries, bro. Like, I love working for you. It's so much fun chilling with you and stuff. He's like, no worries, G. Of course, I'll let you know and stuff. So pretty much at this point, I knew that it was kind of like another fork in the road, you know, in my life. Either I was going to go live with him and work full time and build the Tate brand, or I would go down the Yaxo route and build a regime thing and build my own brand, right? The Yaxo and the regime brand. And this is something that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So if you're living with someone and you're focused on their brand, then your own brand gets left in the background, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I had to decide, and I decided to go through and build my own brand, because as a man, you wanna build your own stuff, and it's much more rewarding to do it than to kind of have a cheat code to the top, and you already have this luxury lifestyle. You know what I mean? So of course it would have been like much faster, and I would have blown up much faster. But I think it's way more rewarding to do it yourself, and slowly the come up is slower, but it's a lot more rewarding in the end.
So that's when you start regime.
Exactly. Yeah, I had regime always. Like I had regime at a couple months at that point, but it wasn't like full-time regime.
Okay.
So at that point, I did have regime and stuff. So I went full force into regime, and I started taking on clients all over the world, traveling, like doing Europe tours. It was like a lot of stuff. And I still work for Andrew. Like I still have War Room events every year. You know, I go to some of the bigger events that they have. They're like, yo, come out. You can come out, film some sick stuff. Like recently we did the 3 yachts, super yachts in Croatia.
That's crazy.
And it was crazy, man. They know like I'm the superpower, you know, I mean, not the superpower, sorry, the secret weapon.
Yes.
Whenever they have a sick event and they're like, yo, we need some top tier content. They're like, yo, fly Yaxo out.
Okay.
He's going to kill it. He's got his drones. He's got his content. And then I think they just needed somebody to just kind of like live with them and just film like day to day. Like if they ever want to film something, like
be there all day, you have
with
to
the camera, like full time. Like, oh, we need a spark. Can you film it? You know what I mean? And like I love like more creative projects, and like I like to like always push the boundaries and stuff. I'm like, yo, we got to take the cars on the middle of the highway and stuff. He's like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like we gotta.
Was there ever a time they said no to one of your ideas?
Nah, man. Honestly, no, not really, bro.
Right? Because they'll do wild shit.
He would always be down, bro. He would always be. It's just sometimes he had like priorities. Like he had like in Dubai, I was there, and he would always have meetings, like different meetings and stuff. He's like, you know, so it was more like whenever he has free time, he'd be like, yo, I'm free, and I would come, and then I would like shoot some stuff with him, and then I would leave, and then or I would stay at his villa or whatever, you know. So it was just like I think these guys are just so busy. Yeah, they're like super busy, dude. They have meetings, like 4 or 5 meetings a day. They got to get to there, and they got to get to there, and it's like higher priority than filming, because every hour that they spend filming is like 100,000, 200,000, whatever the deal is that they can make instead, right? So it's not just the payment of the video; it's also the money that you lose in the process.
Yep. So you decide to go all in on yourself, your own brand. And what are you offering clients at that point? What are you doing for this video creation? Yeah,
I do video creation. I specialize in brand building, online, social media and stuff. So I have like packages where I do reels and stuff for clients. So people that want to kind of build their online brand, I'll go fly over to them. Like for example, one guy in Australia, I went there for a week and we did like 7 days of filming, like luxury content. He had a bunch of cars, like 11 cars, supercars. We'd film some of his cars and we'd go to like a dinner, go to a shisha lounge, go to a high end one of his penthouses.
Yeah,
like he had like all these cool stuff. So we just like go batch shoot for a full week, like nonstop filming. And then from those content, we would make like reels and like motivational stuff and inspirational stuff.
Okay. But these are big brands then that are flying you around.
Yeah. There's some big brands and there's some like people that have a lot of money and stuff like,
True.
Cause I like people that are like more supercars related, because the people that buy supercars, they're not your average guy, you know, like an average business stuff. And I like not only to film cars, but I like to talk with the guys too. Like, and business, like sales at the top level is not really like a sale, right? It's more like friendship and more. So all these guys are like my friends. Like, so I've learned through the books and how to interact with people, how to make them like my friends and how to be friends with them and how to provide value. So I learned a lot of stuff about like the world and crypto and all this stuff. Like these guys are super wealthy people, right? So they teach me little tricks. They're like, oh, invest in this coin, and like it's super fun, man. I love filming these guys.
These are like pretty much billionaires.
Yeah, there's a couple billionaires, right? that I work with. Yeah.
And what did you learn from those kind of clients?
I learned that number one, you got to invest money to make money. Like you can't just save money for the rest of your life and make money. Like that money has to be multiplying while you sleep, right? So that's something that I learned with crypto and stuff. The meme coins were going, like, I don't know if you were into meme coins and stuff, but like
not too much into it, but of course I knew all about it.
Yeah, like last year when it was popping, or the year before, bro, it was crazy.
I always miss the boat. You got to let me know next time.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know, bro. No worries. It's coming in a couple of years. You know, now it's down. Yeah, it's down. Okay. But like it depends on what you want to invest in, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or you want to go into meme coins. Because every cycle, I think there's a new thing. Like last cycle was the NFTs.
Yep.
This cycle was the meme coins. So now, what's the next cycle gonna be?
Are NFTs done? Those are done.
I think it's cooked. Bro.
Come on, it's cooked,
bro.
right?
I don't think no one's buying no NFTs. And same thing with meme coins. Now they're done, bro. Like you have your time that it's popping and everyone's investing, and then people lose interest, and then Bitcoin just goes downhill, and then it's the bear market.
I'm always late to the party, bro. I'm always late.
Nah, man, no worries. I'll get you early on the next one. You know. So if anyone when they tell me about it, I'll get you in early.
Because you obviously fell in love with the car niche too. You're saying now I'm understanding, because you're going to see all these guys with supercars.
Yeah.
And then you fall in love with that kind of side of content too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I love cars, dude. Like cars are the best thing. I don't know how, like it feels so good. Like one of my dreams is to get a Lamborghini.
Yep.
And so being in these cars, like these hypercars, these Lamborghinis, bro, it's the coolest feeling, because it's kind of like you're experiencing how it feels to be in one.
Yeah.
And you're also with the people that have already made it. So they're like giving you motivation and they're inspiring you and they're teaching you stuff, like lessons that they learned along the way, like little stuff that you wouldn't learn otherwise. You know, if you're working for some random like lower business or whatever, like they would just be like, yo, come make the video and leave. Like, but being in these cars with these guys, like sometimes I would sit in the car with Andrew for like 2 hours and we'd just be like from Transfiguration to Romania. I would just be sitting in the car talking with him about life.
Sick.
And he'd ask me questions and he'd be like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. Like giving just like life advice, you know, and having this life advice from people that are way higher than you, it's a big plus, right? It's kind of like reading a book.
It's a cheat code in a way too. Yeah, of course.
It's kind of like because you're learning the knowledge from people that are way more successful, and they're kind of through their mistakes and their errors in life, they're teaching you the fastest way to get to where they are, right? So it's kind of this one thing that I learned from a book. It was this quote. I think it said, if you replicate the habits and rituals of successful people, don't you think you'll be successful too?
It makes sense.
And I was like, yo, this is true, man. Like I gotta take this. Study their, like, what did they do to get successful? Well, they did the morning routine, they did the cold showers, the meditation, the journaling. Okay, so let's focus on that, you know. And then over time, you just become your higher self, and through your higher self, I think you truly manifest, or truly you bring a lot of opportunities into your life, you know, through becoming your higher self.
I agree. So you mentioned like a 2-hour car ride with Andrew. What's the biggest thing he taught you? Like advice wise, like he said it directly to you and you're like, damn, like I didn't know that, or damn, that, you know what, that hit different.
Let me think. It's a hard one, bro. It was a while ago.
Well, for sure. And you probably had multiple conversations with him.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But if there's anything that you can pinpoint that really opened your eyes, and I'm sure he actually did it more in his actions, where the way he treated you and the way you saw him moving with other people.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing. So one thing that comes to mind straight away was we were in Transfiguration at the time.
Okay.
And he was super friendly, like I said, with other people. And this was something that kind of like surprised me, because he was like, hey man, like where's your girl? She's not like here and stuff. And I was like, no, she's at the Romanian, like the apartment or whatever that's close by to their house. And he was like, yo, no worries, bro. I'll get my security. I'm gonna call them up now, and they're gonna drive her to the hotel that we're going to now. And it's like 4 hours away.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Like, don't worry about it. Like, you got more busy stuff. He's like, nah, man, don't worry, G. Like, I'll bring her out and stuff. And I was like, bro, like, yeah, this guy's like, he didn't have to do that. He could have just been like, ah, fuck, you're here to film, dude. Like, I don't care. Like, focus on filming. Like, but he was like a super nice guy. He's just like, yeah, I'll bring her along. She can hang out with us and stuff. No problem, though.
He genuinely cared about you.
Exactly. And like, this is something that like, not even some of my like lower end clients are like this, like some of my lower clients are more asshole like vibes, and he's so friendly. He's always, even on the yacht, he was like, dude, like just film like a couple hours, like the first couple days, and just chill. Just put the camera away and just chill. And I was like, dude, like I genuinely like filming. Like it's like it's a passion for me. I really like doing cool stuff and creative stuff. It fuels me. Like if I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, bro, I feel useless.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, so he was like, yo, you're a G. Because he like any other guy would be like, ah, fuck it. Like he said, not film. Just film like a couple hours and just like put the camera away and
of
stuff.
Course.
And there were some nights where he was like, bro, like put the camera away, like just chill, like relax, dude. Like he would go bring me drinks, and me and my girl drinks. He'd be like, here, you guys drink this. Like I remember this. He would literally do that.
He treated you like a human being.
Exactly, man. And that was like something that I didn't expect from the online persona. You don't expect that, right? So.
Well, I think going back to it too, like I think he's inspired so many people, millions of people. There's a lot of people that don't like him, of course, but again, I think they just watch the quick clips. They don't understand him fully. You got to see him on a whole other level. That's why I'm asking you these questions.
Yeah, of course.
Because a lot of people are going to watch this and be like, well, what's he really like? And behind the scenes, because everyone can act on camera, obviously. But what you're telling me, I'm not surprised to hear that he was like that, right? But okay, now at this point in your life, what are you focused on?
So right now, actually, I'm working on one of my other fears, which is...
Oh, a new fear unlocked.
Which is speaking in front of the camera.
There you go. You're doing a good job right now.
Yeah, what are we doing now? We're speaking in front of the camera. Exactly. So this was something that I've always had. I don't know why, but I've always been like insecure being in front of the camera. And I always I had this like self-doubt and stuff. So me doing podcasts and me speaking, I'm actually focused right now on long form content and showing more of my face. I don't know if you saw my Instagram recently. I'm posting more about my face, and a couple brands reached out to me like DJI and like Tilta, and like these are like camera brands and stuff.
Course.
I don't know, but they're like some of like the highest brands in the world and stuff. So now they're like, yo, we want you to do some videos for this product and this product.
Like speaking about the
exactly, like take the product and make a video or two, like explain the features on the product. Okay. And also now we're working on doing some long form YouTube content with DJI. So now like it's kind of in the final process of being uploaded, but we're gonna have a big video on how to film cars and go viral with the car niche on DJI's official page. Sick. Yeah, bro. It's 5 million followers. I don't think anyone's like made a long form video for DJI where they're talking in front of the camera yet. No. But it's in the final process of getting approved by the team and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But it's like a huge thing for me because I've always been insecure in front of the camera, so slowly by slowly each fear you would kind of take one off. And the final one is kind of talking in front of the camera. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get over this fear. And how do I do that? Speak in front of the camera.
Bro, you were shuffling around the world. Yeah. Okay, speaking in front of the camera is nothing. Yeah. You got this. But you've done a great job so far. Yeah. So with DJI and stuff, it's more long form. Are you going to do long form for yourself too? Like you're going to do more vlog style and stuff like that?
Exactly. So we have a bunch of YouTube videos right now. We have like 3 or 4 videos that we're making where it's kind of like teaching creators how to make car videos, like viral car videos, the style that I make, and also how to get clients and like go down that route of like creators and like business and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be like the direction for my current YouTube. And
as a creator, like what do you think about AI right now?
AI, honestly, like I used to hate it.
Yeah.
But if you use it correctly, man, it's very powerful, man. Like in my recent video, the Croatia one, I used AI for the first time and I was blown away by the transitions, man. Like all you need to do is put like the first frame and the last frame, and then it generates, like it takes this photo and it creates the scene and it looks better than real life.
Yes.
And it just goes through the scene, and like if you have the right prompt, it does take time. It's not perfect yet, but if you practice a few times and you generate a couple prompts, you're gonna get a result that's like very believable. You add some sound effects and it looks real, and people are like, holy shit. Like those are some of the moments in the video that people were like, holy, like, the AI transition.
For sure.
So I definitely think people are afraid that it's gonna take our jobs.
Well, I was gonna ask you that. Like you're a videographer, right? Editor, creator. Right now you see a lot of these videos online that are just AI and you're like, is that real? Is that real or is that AI?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like the same thing that kind of like your competitor in a way.
Exactly.
Because there's a brand out there that can say, okay, we want to do this car video right now, but should we just do it through AI and not call Yaxo?
I see. I think AI, like as for right now, like I don't think AI can replace videographers because I don't think actually ever, because you don't have that human element, like that human element of like talking, hey, what do you want in your video? Okay, you want this? Let's do this. Like AI is more like you tell it what to do and it just creates something based on its experiences and its knowledge. Okay. And it's, from my experience, it's not like that great at it. Maybe in the future it'll be different.
For sure.
For now, at least, it's not, I'm not afraid of it taking my job at all. And also, like, if you know what's coming as a videographer. So if you front run it and you master it, then you can use it and use it as part of your skill. Like say, okay, you want AI? No worries, I can do AI. Yeah. But like you got to first tell me what you want. Like you can't just generate that out of thin air. You got to have like the right prompts. You got to have the experience. You got to know which programs. Like how do you generate a transition? What AI? Like who knows this stuff, right? You got to go through the process and learn it. There's like 100 different AIs, right? So so now as videographers, people that are kind of like ahead of it, we know what's coming. So we're all kind of like slowly moving towards learning how to master it and become the best at it. Because in the future, of course, it's going to get so good that you don't even need a videographer at that point.
Yeah. Scary times. I don't want to see that time. I'd rather have real people, you know?
Exactly, man. I think you're always going to have that human element. I think human element is going to be the top no matter what, you know? But of course, there are things like repetitive tasks and annoying things that you can just speed up with AI. And like, you don't need to do everything yourself. Like you can use it as like a tool in your bag the same way I have like a lens filter or something. You can use it as an addition to your skill set.
Well, you've had an incredible journey. What would you say has been the toughest battle in this journey that you've had?
I would say those times when I'm put into a corner and I have no choice. So like I think like when you're put into a corner, it's tough, but it's also like what you need to get out of that corner, right? So you need to light the fire under your ass, and that's the only way is if you have no choice, right? So I think those moments were the toughest, but at the same time, those moments like unlock like the drive in you. You're like, okay, like you know, like the first time. For example, the one where I was emailing a bunch of people overnight, you know, I emailed 200 people. I couldn't sleep. You know, I had that drive in me. So that was one of those moments that defined me. You know, like if I ever need to make money overnight, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to message every single person on my list and say, hey, man, you need a video, you know. So I think those are definitely one of those moments.
What would you say is the most important habit that you've built that has taken you here?
The number one habit is focus. And like people, like I think it's actually it's a habit and it's a skill as well.
That's for sure.
It's not something that you can just do overnight, especially if you're doom scrolling a lot. You know, it's one of those things that you gotta over time through going into deep work, putting your phone away, mastering the habit of focus with meditation, all this stuff. You're gonna build your focus muscle in your brain. So I think that single skill or habit, it allows you to produce the work that you need to do to get to the level that you want to get to.
Focus,
number one.
I'm going to ask you to manifest something on the episode now.
Okay.
We ask our guests to manifest something you want to come to life in the next 5 years. So I can come back and clip it and say, Yaxo said it.
I see.
So look in the camera, be as detailed as you can, and tell them what's going to happen the next 5 years in your life.
Okay. I see a beautiful family, a few kids with my amazing soon-to-be wife. I see a lot of followers on YouTube, a couple 100,000, some supercars in there, some businesses, some investments, bringing a lot of income, and a lot of like attention and focus on my day-to-day craft. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Which supercar though? You got to be detailed.
Okay.
Which one you really want?
I really want the Aventador SVJ.
There you go.
Lamborghini Aventador SVJ.
Now when you finally post it, I got to post this clip with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
No, but I think you have a lot of success coming. I think it comes from being mentally strong. When you're mentally strong, you know, there's going to be challenges in life always, you know. Things don't get easier. You get stronger, obviously. Right? I think you've been doing a great job getting stronger. So I wish you all the success.
Thank you.
But I got one more question for you. Our famous question.
Okay.
Does money buy happiness?
All right. So I don't think directly money buys happiness, because I've seen a lot of millionaires that are super depressed and sad. And at the same time, I've seen a lot of super poor people like in the favelas of Brazil that have no money for anything, but they're thankful to be alive. So I don't think it directly does buy happiness, but what I think it does is money buys you freedom to do what you want and to provide for your family.
Okay.
And then that freedom brings you peace, because now you understand that you have a roof over your head, you have food, and then that peace brings you happiness. So directly it doesn't, but at the same time it does, you know? So, because I'm sure if you gave the poor person in favela $1,000, they would be super thankful and happy. You know, they could pay their house or whatever, you know, get a roof over their kids' heads, food, they can, you know, so. But at the same time, the super rich guy that's kind of lost and hopeless, I don't think that money will make him happy, you know? I think that comes from within, and the people you have around you and the relationships you have.
How has money changed your life?
Money has changed my life because it's allowed me to do the things that I wanted to do, and not to be in that rat mode of kind of always looking for the next job, you know? Because before I would spend all the money, like I'm always like an investor. Like, you know, I make the money and I invest it back in the business, and I invest it back in the business. I buy the new camera, I buy the new camera, or the new drone, or whatever's in the technology. But money has allowed me, if you're smart with it and you know where to invest it, you can kind of make passive income. It buys you more freedom, and then it brings you peace, you know? Because now you're not in that, like, you know, that corner where you gotta like make ends meet and stuff. So
Buys crypto is what you're saying.
Exactly. Soon, man, it's going down more. So once it goes low, you gotta buy it early.
You gotta let me know, bro. Please.
I'm gonna let you know, bro.
Guys, Yaxo, appreciate you. We're gonna go shuffle right now. He's gonna go teach me how to shuffle right now.
Man.
All right. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for your time. Guys, we're out.